Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Director Watch, an Awards Watch podcast that attempts to get inside the mind of cinema's greatest auteurs to explore what drives them, and maybe we go on a few unrelated tangents along the way. I'm Ryan McQuade, the executive editor here at Awards Watch, and joining me, as always, is my fantastic co-host, Jay Ledbetter.
Ryan, it's a sad day and a happy day because we're ending our Terrence Malick series, but I am unburdened of the weight on my shoulders of a Terrence Malick series. I'm unburdened from reading hundreds of pages a week. I am unburdened from thinking about how inadequate I am at talking about the films of Terrence Malick, and yet here we are. We're talking A Hidden Life until his Jesus movie comes out in 2070. This is the last Terrence Malick movie.
That is true. It feels great for you to have that burden off your shoulder. I mean, we're ending today with a comedy, which is
Yeah,
a
it's
really
real
great
light,
thing.
brisk.
Really
Malick
brisk.
finally went light.
He was like, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going to make a 90-minute movie. He really stripped it back. No, obviously this is a 3-hour movie.
He went for this was
It's a
him
complete
and Apatow
opposite.
worked on this, right?
Yeah, well, no, I was thinking more McKay, because it's political and historical. It's got
important.
It's important. It's edited like a fine-tooth comb. Well, isn't like Hank Corwin, isn't he like McKay's guy as well as Malick's guy in terms of an editor?
Is that true?
Is that true? Am I making that up? I don't, because I know he's done a bunch of his movies.
No.
No? Am I wrong
You're
about
wrong.
that? I am? Okay. Well,
You're wrong.
I thought I was.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about that, folks. I don't mean to lie to all you out here. I guess the show is done, and I won't. I
Or
won't
like
do
a
this
hidden
anymore.
podcast host because he's crawling into a hole after that one.
Exactly. Well, it is nice to be back here with you, Jay, and finish this off. I mean, yeah. I mean, you said you read hundreds and hundreds of pages. It's not like anybody forced you to do that, but you did that yourself.
I do it for the love of the game, and also because he's my guy.
He is your guy. Do you feel like before we even get to our guests, I'm just going to ask you a simple question. How do you feel that you've done on this series?
No, terrible.
I think you've done really well.
I mean, I don't know.
You're a terrible judge of yourself. You're a terrible judge of yourself.
I'm the most self-loathing podcaster in the game.
That's true. Well, I mean, maybe our guest that's here today will challenge you for that.
I don't know. I'm proud of myself in one regard. I put the work in.
Yes, you did.
And
we had good feedback.
Yeah, I think we have gotten some good feedback, and I'll never feel like I did him justice because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm quite the Terrence Malick of podcasting. I might be the Judd Apatow of podcasting, but like that level. But I'm no Malick, and Malick is just the thing is he's like the smartest man on earth, and we need to give him all the credit in the world. And we've got one more to talk about. I'm sure I've sounded like an absolute fool. I'm sure I've sounded very smart in other instances, but it's been a delight nonetheless.
That's
I
the
really
beauty.
am.
That's the beauty
all the
inside
work
of his
I've put in. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has been. I've tried really hard to make this worthwhile. I hope the listeners appreciate it. I hope we're putting out good stuff. Ryan's been doing a great job. I don't know how I've been doing, but I've been trying hard. I'll tell you that much.
I've just kind of sat back a lot on some of these episodes too, and let you and the guests kind of go.
Oh, you've let me cook. I've been cooking a little bit.
I think, yeah, you've been cooking in the kitchen, and
But do I have the mental ingredients to make a Michelin podcast? That's the question.
I mean, you're being way too self-serious and about how your performance is, I guess, in the kitchen, and you're being like an episode of The Bear at that point.
Yeah, I'm basically the Bear right now.
And if you continue to go down this route, you're not going to be as good.
Where it's like he has love in his life, but he rejects it because he doesn't understand his place in the world.
I didn't like the third season.
I liked it, but it was far and away the lesser of the 3 seasons.
Is it a comedy?
I mean, who cares?
There you go.
The question.
There you go. Anyway, I think you've
Okay.
done a great. I think you've done a great job.
Well, thank you, Ryan.
And
I think you've done a great job.
well, I try my best here. It's one half of the show. But I think that the hard part of doing a Malick series is trying to nail everything about these movies within a couple hours. These movies are meticulous. It's very hard to do. And I think we did the best we could. I think if you listen to other shows and they do their renditions of their reviews of those movies, they would do probably something completely different, implying different things. And you know what? If we redid this in like 10 years, which honestly would be kind of like a cool thing in like 10, 15 years, if we got to redo a series like this, we probably find different things, or, images or moments would mean different things now than just, kind of pass bys, in our viewing experience. So with that all said, I guess we should bring on our guest today.
I feel like that should have been the end of the episode, not the beginning.
What? That's it. You know what? We don't need to bring the guests on. We just, it's short, sweet, to the point. Bye, everyone. No.
But that's a good way to make this longer than the running time of the movie, which is, of course, our goal today.
Yes, because A Hidden Life is what, 3 hours long?
It's like 254.
254. So we gotta add some extra fluff. Maybe play a score over and over again a little bit. We're bringing back an old guest. He's not. I mean, he is old, to be fair. But
an oldie but a goodie.
An oldie but a goodie. He was just on our Tony Scott movie series. We got into a very emotional discussion on the beautiful film that was Man on Fire, and Tony Scott's masterpiece. We'll see if our guest agrees today if this is another masterpiece.
This is sort of today. Terrence Malick's Man on Fire.
Correct? Weird. I don't know. It's not correct. It's the editor-in-chief over at InSession Film and the host of Pop Culture Case Study. It's Dave Giannini. Welcome back to Director Watch. I told him I would do it like that to annoy him.
It's not working. It's just making me laugh.
Making him stronger, folks.
Thank you for having me back. I'm very excited to talk about this, although
contractually obligated within the friendship to bring you back.
Yes. Well, I had two thoughts when you invited me for any Terrence Malick movie. It's first, oh God, I don't know if I could do that because he's a really difficult filmmaker to talk about. Whether you love him or hate him or you're in between, there's a lot going on and it's a struggle. And my second thought was like, oh Jesus, Jay's gonna read so many goddamn books. I just and of course the first thing he said is hundreds of pages, and I was like, yeah, that tracks.
There's not that much literature on A Hidden Life quite yet, but
gotta tell you, anytime Jay kept saying I was reading all these pages and everything,
you're doing it to yourself, buddy.
I like flashed back to every time where in Fellowship of the Ring where Gandalf has to go off to find all the scrolls and things, and I felt like just Jay in a dungeon reading all this shit about Terrence Malick the last couple of weeks and months that we've been
I feel like it would just confuse me more if I read.
I feel like it would be
that certainly has
equations and oceans and shit just floating in the air.
It's like the Winona Ryder gif with just
yes,
what is happening?
Exactly. It's like the Galifianakis and the Hangover gif, just like all the numbers.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
No, it is. It really is this is beyond me, but I'm glad that I'm reading stuff that is beyond me because these movies are beyond.
It's nice that he's such a straightforward filmmaker, like A to B.
Yeah,
just nice, comfortable.
Well, you wanted a challenge. That's the thing is I think that we've done, not to say that the directors that we haven't done aren't challenging or thought-provoking or interesting or compelling or made masterpiece. There's just difference, and I think that last year when we did PTA, my favorite filmmaker, those are much more easy, laid back. You could do the reading.
Some of them are. The Master. You can.
Yeah, there's some stuff you got to dive into there. For sure. I think
that was the first month I was supposed to be on.
Well, all right. Well, scheduling as an all things.
I'll tell you who's happy we're done with Malick is my wife.
I was gonna say, how's the wife been with the rewatches? Did she sit down and watch this one with you?
No, this one I said, hey, Allie, I'm about to go watch a 3-hour movie from the Tree of Life guy. And she was like, okay, I'm gonna watch, what's that show that's popular right now? Mormon
Oh yeah, Mormon
Mormon
Wives. There's
Sisters.
like a
Yeah, something like that. It's really popular
The
right now. So she
reality
watched
show.
that
fuck are
instead.
you guys talking about?
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
It's
That's
a
exactly what
Netflix
it's.
reality show, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that's really popped off.
Thank God, you know,
That's our next series.
we don't watch a lot of that stuff around here. And there's I don't know. It's just the basic, usual
I think that was
reality show
Shyamalan.
crap. You think so? Is
Full
that
of
his
twists.
17th movie?
Full of twists.
Oh, full of twists. No, I don't. I can't get it. I say I'm. I feel like I would like reality television. I just never. There's stuff like, you know, some people are like, oh, you should watch Survivor. Oh, you should watch this, or you should watch that. I'm like, I feel like I'm behind on all of that.
And also,
Like
if you feel
it's
like you like it, you probably shouldn't start because it's going to be a
because then
problem.
it's yeah,
That's
because then I'm
true.
just gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
And instead of watching like classic movies or, you know, maybe narrative television shows that I'm way behind on as well, I'm
That's why he
gonna
hasn't watched The Aviator. I mean, this is what happens.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I haven't. I mean, good Lord, I have a bunch of stuff I've never seen before.
Jay, what's your most embarrassing blind spot before we get into this episode? Like,
Oh,
what do you think
that's
is like the
tough.
most embarrassing film? Because your film experience is different because you didn't get to like watch a
I was
lot
a
of
little bit of a late
PG-13.
bloomer.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a late bloomer. You're welcome, buddy. I mean, like, what is the movie you're like, I'm holding it? Maybe you're holding it for like a big screen experience. Because I know some people, that was like I know some.
That stuff is such a crapshoot. I don't know that I'm holding it for that, but I'm trying to think because my problem is I do all these things that I'm like, I got to watch every movie from the director if I go into it. And so I've seen William Friedkin's Deal of the Century, and I've never seen The Aviator. Right? I've never seen Ikiru, which is one that I really need to see. I mean, that's an embarrassing one.
It's embarrassing because you would love it. That movie's like
I know.
made
Yeah,
for you.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
So
why
I'm
I
trying to
think
look.
I think you would really love The Aviator because
Trying to look
I
at
know
like the
Jay.
top.
It's all about process.
top-
It's all about
top
you know,
movies.
obsession. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna find.
Gabe, do you have a blind spot?
I mean, we actually talked about one of them pre-recording, Reds. I've never seen Reds.
You've never seen Reds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are other ones that are more embarrassing. I just can't think of them
can't-
currently.
yeah.
That one's like on the top of my brain.
I
but-
can't even think of the one. I mean, like I can't even think of because the thing is, over the years working with Mr. Ledbetter, I've knocked out so many movies that I haven't seen or film adjacents, you know, into the series. Like, there was some films, you know, I mean, I hadn't felt like I fully seen movies all the way. Like I'd seen snippets or I'd seen bits and pieces of it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't like recently, and I mean, I'd seen the film, but I actually like as an adult hadn't sat down and watched Godfather 2 all the way in like years. So it felt like watching it for the first time and I watched it back to back, but I clearly have seen it. I know everything that's in that movie, you know, because I, you know, watched it like essentially out of the womb. But like, you know, I don't know. I haven't seen, there's some Kurosawa I haven't seen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
there's just so many movies. Like,
It's
it's
See,
just
I did this bizarre thing where I did a Kurosawa from the beginning series, and I stopped at like Rashomon. So I've seen all the stuff that nobody has ever heard of, but I haven't seen some of the canonical stuff.
So you haven't seen like the big stuff. Like, have you seen Seven Samurai?
I've seen several of the canonicals films. Yeah. I've seen Seven Samurai.
the canonicals. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot.
I'll tell you one. Here's one that I haven't seen. All About Eve. Embarrassing.
You haven't seen All About Eve? Wow.
It's a good one.
Need to see it.
When we did
As I'm
Sunset
looking at 'em.
Boulevard, I crossed that off the list. And then
fair.
also I rewatched it last year with May December because Todd Haynes said that was a big influence on that film. So yeah, there you go. I think last year we crossed off Safe because I hadn't seen Safe. You know what I mean?
Here's my one for the list of shame.
Okay.
Nashville. Haven't seen Nashville.
Oh, that's a mustard.
And we're the Altman boys around here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not the Almond Boys, the Altman Boys.
It's different.
That would be a different traveling show for sure.
Actually, my most embarrassing blind spot is I haven't seen Robert Altman's Health, because that's the only Altman I haven't seen.
No, you
Yes.
misunderstood the question.
No. Honestly, that's fair. That is fair.
That is a scarlet letter that I must wear.
Actually, can I tell
Or
you?
you could just watch the movie and not have to.
It's on YouTube. I think that's the only place you can watch it.
Can I tell you guys? I actually haven't seen one. It's probably a big deal. I've just never been in the mood to ever watch it, and it's one film that everyone's gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" I've never seen A Clockwork Orange.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
That was a high school watch for me, for sure. That's like the edgy high school watch.
I just am like,
I think it's great.
I watched the movie. I read the book.
No, I know. I'm sure I like it. And, if we ever did a Kubrick series, like in 45 years, like that, maybe like we jump down that. I don't know. There's also just like, it's like, I don't know.
Talk about a challenging director. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. No, he's got some good movies in there, right?
He's all right.
Yeah,
he's all right. Not bad.
Stanley Kubrick.
Honestly, the fun thing about
just
Malick
cinema.
is
no big deal.
I feel like so many people are afraid to talk about Malick that he's not talked about all that much.
Yeah, it's
in the way that
intimidating.
we are kind of talking about.
It's kind of like Lynch.
It's like,
when we talked about Lynch a couple years ago.
Talking about Malick is like doing a treatise on poetry. It's different than talking about a novel. Like, it's so many of his movies, it's like all symbolic, and you're just like, how do I talk about what this means to me versus what
I'm just trying
to
get
to the world? Like, I'm just trying to watch a movie. Like,
I'm just trying to get the final 3 credits and graduate. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not raising my hand. Like, just give me the passing grade. I'll do the paperwork necessary. I don't want to do
a pass fail on this one.
I'm going to take the bare minimum of a C- here.
And we talked earlier in the series about how when he was at AFI, Schrader was like, "Why do you like this nature crap?" And Malick was just like,
"It's the most Schrader thing I've ever heard.
I can't really describe it, but it's spectacular."
Can you imagine
those
Malick
experience?
Those two just sitting next to each other, the total opposites of the world.
Amazing.
You know what I mean?
I would pay money to just listen to them talk to each other.
Like Paul Schrader and First Reformed come out in the same year, or
no? It was a year apart. Okay.
2018
for First Reformed and 2019.
Those are movies that have different conclusions.
Yeah, you think?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I love them. I love them both.
Same.
I do think though he needs to maybe make less movies.
Schrader.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Malick.
No, he needs to make more.
A movie every 15 years.
Schrader needs to make less.
Well, a lot of people would say that Malick needed to make less movies during his autobiographical
It's true. We're
floaty era.
Yeah,
I think this is the beginning of a new Malick era.
Really? Because you've only got one film to frickin' judge by it, so it's kind of hard.
I know, but I think the eras are obviously pre-sabbatical.
Yeah,
Thin Red Line through the New World. No, Thin Red Line through Tree of Life. Probably.
Yeah,
and then the 3
modern films. Well, the modern films,
contemporary movies.
And
now I think he's starting a new era by reverting to some of his older instincts.
More classical.
Did you guys cover the documentary that he did?
Or just Voyage of Time?
Yeah.
We didn't cover it at length. I watched it.
Or
at least I watched the longer version.
Did you watch the extended version of that?
Well, there's 2 versions. There's the IMAX version and the longer version. I watched the longer version. I haven't seen the IMAX version yet, but I'll get there.
You're such a good soldier, Jay. Like just literally watching.
Captain.
You mean unlike the lead character in this movie?
Correct. Yes. Well, no, I was mostly giving him a compliment for watching a movie. I keep
the trains running on time.
Exactly.
The trains.
There's a lot to talk about here. I do agree. I think that is a good question that we do need to bring up here in a minute. But I do want to first kick it over to Dave, since he is the guest here. He's our last guest of this series, Jay. And I want to ask Dave about his relationship with Terrence Malick, and what you think of him as a director. Dave, what do you like about him? What you don't like about him? Just your overall impressions about Malick. You don't have to dive into the movie just yet. Just overall.
Sure. Malick is definitely a director I came to much later. Like, I don't think I saw a Malick movie until I was in my 30s. Like, I knew of him, but didn't ever watch.
That like 40, 50 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Okay. When they came out in theaters, that's when I
Paid $2,
No,
$2 on a soda pop cap, and you went into the theater.
that's right. That's
You know,
correct.
by the way, quick thing before I cut you off is that's like my dad would tell me all the time. He was like, you could take like 7 bottle caps or 8 bottle caps or whatever, and you can go on down to the theater, and that's how you
Is
got
that
into the
true?
movies. It's for real. And I was just like, I kept looking at him like, I don't know, if that's real. And then when I was in college and I was doing a research project on movie theaters in the South Texas area, I saw advertisements for that in the
Wild.
archives. And so I
That's
was like,
crazy.
oh my God, my dad's not a liar. So therefore, kids, the point of the story is listen to your parents. Anyway, back to
Listen
Dave.
to your parents.
Okay, glad we got there.
Mhm.
I think my opinion on Malick is probably pretty standard. I think his first 5 movies are almost perfect. I think they're all incredible works of art. And then once he gets into his hazy personal era, not a fan. I find it hard to watch. I think it has the same I have the same problems with those movies that other people who don't like Malick have the problem with his first 5 movies. That they are self-indulgent and they don't follow a path that I particularly would like to follow. But it's all dependent on which movie you're talking about, right? Because if you're talking about those first 5, I'm on that path with him and very happy to be. And then something happens for me with To the Wonder, Knight of Cups, Song to Song, and it just all
You're
goes
referring to when
sideways
he
for me.
blew up the path. He said paths don't exist.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I just need some semblance of ground to walk on. And those movies don't give that to me at all. Whereas his other movies, even his earlier movies, even Tree of Life, which you can say is like, I mean, really high level stuff and really challenging, I'm still very comfortable in that version of Malick. So I was very happy to see him return somewhat to that for this movie. And it was one of those things where I was so grateful when this movie came out because after those past 3 movies, I was like, maybe, you had mentioned, I think before recording, we were talking about Peter Jackson. Maybe he is going somewhere I can't follow. And I was just like not ready to go there with Malick. So I was very grateful that he went back. And obviously, like you want to talk about visual stylists, like he is the visual stylist in from the time period when he started till now. Like you can say a lot of negative things about Malick. You cannot say his movies are not stunning to look at. And that is true of every single one of his films. So he definitely can be one of those directors where he's the ultimate example of like, I respect it more than I like it. Like it's, he's very much that kind of director. But if you get on the wavelength of his movies, they are some of the most rewarding cinema experiences you will ever have. Just truly, truly incredible, transformative experiences. And that is what I love about movies, is that they're not all just for fun. Some of them will change you, and Malick will change you if you get on that wavelength.
I agree with
This
Dave a
movie's
lot.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
This is a fun flick.
If you love wheat, you're in for a treat.
I was
You're
like,
ready.
man, somebody start making some bread because I'm in for it right now.
It's just like Zack Snyder in his most recent movies.
Oh, for God's sakes. Jay, you have any comments on what were they called?
Oh, I gotta get to Rebel Moon 2.
The Rebel
Haven't gotten
Moon
there yet.
2. The wheat.
Sorry. I've been planning that one for hours.
Son of a bitch.
What is that second one called? Like the
Who
Seed
bear?
cares?
Is that what it
no,
is?
not the Seed Bearer. That's the Avatar.
That was supposed to be the
Avatar.
Avatar. I'm so angry. They're not that James Cameron didn't call it the Seed Bearer. Like I'm like, that is one of the most disappointing. If it was at Fox, it would have totally been that. It's Disney's fault, and I fucking hate them.
It's
so
the
by the way,
Scargiver.
the
It's the
Scargiver.
Scargiver.
Yes.
It's the Scargiver. Thank you.
By the way, as we're
16% on Rotten Tomatoes,
it was
baby.
announced today. It was announced today that James Cameron is making a nuclear bomb movie.
That's not going to happen. Like
It'll never happen.
Is it
I
his
agree with
answer?
Dave. It'll
So
never
it's his
happen.
answer to Oppenheimer.
He'll
He's
probably
gonna
just
show it.
produce it. He'll just produce it. Like
Gotta say-
Robert Rodriguez will.
he's got like
He's gonna lead a
13 more
battle
of these
angel the shit out
Avatar
of it,
movies
yeah.
to make, so he's not
If
gonna
he
have
does
time.
direct it though, I'd see it.
I'll tell you who should direct
Of
it.
course.
Sean Levy.
Ugh.
That's God damn it! What? Why?
He's trying to get me to leave, right?
Yeah, he's trying to get me to leave. It
We
just
need
be
that.
him.
We need that feather light emotional touch of Sean Levy.
We need that commercial shine or sheen that's in a Sean Levy movie that looks absolutely deplorable.
I hate everything about this.
Ryan Reynolds as Harry Truman.
You know what?
Good.
You know what?
I'm not against that part.
Not bad. Hugh Jackman as the bomb.
Rob McElhenney as Dwight Eisenhower.
Oh my God!
Sold.
Right.
Sold.
Please make it stop.
Your casting is great. The director.
Yeah. The director maybe like go in a different direction, literally. No, honestly, that's never gonna happen. Dave's absolutely right. The movie's never gonna exist.
Blake Lively as Eleanor Roosevelt.
Stop it. Stop.
Feminist
now.
icon. There
Oh
you
my
go.
God. Yeah, she's gonna sell like hand cream or something
Absolute
to promote the
queen.
movie. Yeah. But no, back to Dave's point, because he made an excellent point, which is I think not that we're doing like summations of the series just yet, Jay, but I do think that that's been my overarching thing about going down this, 9-week journey with Malick has been the discovery in these movies of different things that I didn't initially see when I first saw them. I think again, like he's a really great depictor of time, and I think his movies are testaments to time in that, and I said this on the Tree of Life episode, and I truly do mean it. He is a director that you'll connect with when you're more mature. And I know that sounds like I'm about
Thank
to
God
like
I didn't watch The Tree of Life in college. Like
no,
truly.
no.
Thank God.
Like if it sounds like I'm about to get on like, get on my soapbox and like, demean younger generations.
You show me a high schooler
Do
that
it.
loves The Tree of Life, I'll show you a liar.
Yeah. I just think that you got to live a little bit of a life and have some experiences for some of these themes or these movies to hit.
You need pain and disappointment.
Yeah. Do you need the world to hit you? You need to be in your 30s. That's why, they connect I think that those, and if you watch them, like I mostly watched them in order though. I did connect a lot more this go round with his 3 modern contemporary floaty pictures because they're
awesome,
inherently unique also. And
I agree with Ryan.
Connected with 3 awesome movies.
And I think they are really good. And I am very curious to do this exercise in 10 years because I'm not going to do this again for that time. And I think
you
that's
need
okay.
a decade off.
You need like some time, some
all
junk.
the time.
You know what I mean? Like all the time, never, num.
The
New
Malick
books,
cast.
yeah,
No.
we're just a Malick corner every week.
You got to water down. Yeah, you got to water down The Tree of Life with, Steven Seagal.
a minute by minute Malick cast would take you 10 years.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh man, I should do The Tree of Life every minute cast.
Oh,
that's what I should
done
do.
in a decade.
We would never. Yeah, we'd never be done
because you'd have to do both. You'd have to do the first one and then the new Criterion one.
Or you'd have to do the extended. Oh,
Yeah.
Or if you did,
and then it's kind of like, okay, so this episode is all about the tree.
Yeah.
This
is
all
fingers on a tree.
Just send me the one when you get to the dinosaurs. This
is all about the life. Yeah, and then
you
if
mean
we
maybe
put
the
these
best moment ever captured in cinema?
No, I'm dinosaur defender as far as Tree of Life goes. I think it's
you got to be careful.
Brilliant piece.
You got to be careful, Dave, because
you better watch out.
Your goddamn mouth. You know what I mean? Like you
what
mess
am I
with
doing
those
wrong
dinosaurs.
already?
You're already walking on thin ice with the floaty Malick trilogy takes over here.
But if you make fun of the dinosaurs, all bets are off.
No, I am pro dinosaurs in Tree of Life.
Not speak ill of Night of Cups. Thank you, Jay.
Too late.
Too late. But no, I think
the world did that for me. It's fine.
But, I mean, like, I know we got really emotional.
There are dozens of us.
I know I got really shut up. I know I got really emotional when we did our the end of the Tony Scott series. The good thing about this series, the first one this year, actually, is that right? Is it the first one this? No, we'll have more Sofia Coppola movies to come, but we'll have more Malick movies. Hopefully in the future, whenever that is going to be. I mean, this movie,
The Jesus movie.
is it supposed to come out next year?
It's been
Just says
supposed to have been
TBA.
coming out for the last 2
God damn
years,
it,
and it hasn't yet. You know,
it feels
I don't
like
know.
it feels like
Mark
Cam.
Rylance plays the devil. Count me in.
Who plays Jesus or God?
Jim Caviezel.
Okay,
He's
I
reprising.
knew it was coming.
He's reprising his role.
Oh, okay. So he's like born again from his character and then ran line to play Jesus.
You know that's my guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
My good friend Jimmy C.
Yeah, you got him on speed dial. Anyway, Dave, let's get into it 45 minutes later. And talk about A Hidden Life, the latest film from Terrence Malick, that we have released back in 2019. Dave, what do you think of this movie?
Okay, so it's very interesting that you all invited me on for this movie in particular, because
boy.
the last guest spot I did was on InSession Film when we talked about Wildcat, which is another movie about faith. And in between the time this movie came out and now, I have refound my own faith. So it was very interesting to watch this now in comparison to when it first came out. When it first came out, I enjoyed seems like the wrong word, but I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. And now I kind of think it might be Malick's best movie. I think it's a masterpiece.
Wow.
I have
What a guess.
You son of a gun. You lied on Letterboxd, didn't you?
No, that was when I first watched it.
Oh, that was when you
three
first
stars.
Okay.
When I gave it 3 stars.
You are forgiven for your night of.
It's still 3 stars on Letterboxd right now. You got to go change the grade.
I didn't want to give it away.
I knew it.
I never do that before the episode either. I try not.
Like I definitely did not feel overly emotional when I first watched it, and I cried when I watched it this time.
Hell yeah!
I think it is a beautiful piece of cinema. It really puts things a lot in perspective, and everybody said it when the movie came out, and it's still true now that it resonates in ways that I wish it didn't with our current society. But it also takes a look at the cost of doing the right thing. It's easy to do the right thing when people pat you on the back and tell you you're doing the right thing, like good job. But when everyone, including the people you love most, beg you to not do the right thing, that's when you find out if you're a moral human being or not. And this is actual heroism, as opposed to joining the army and firing your gun. This is heroism. This is maybe the most heroic thing I've ever seen on a screen. And I was just stunned by it watching it this time. And I just finished watching it like 2 hours ago. So I'm still kind of recovering from the experience of watching this. So yeah, I think this is Malick's best movie. And it completely takes me by surprise, not only because I had that issue with the hazy version of Malick leading up to this, but also when I first watched it, it didn't hit. And now I fully expected to come in here and be like, it's a good movie. It's pretty good. He's a really great director, but I was not expecting to have that reaction that I did today, but I'm glad that I did.
Wow. All right. Didn't see a curveball from Mr. Giannini today. It's great. Jay, I know that you said there's not a lot of material out there yet in terms of your books, I believe, about A Hidden Life.
Not a ton. There's some.
But there's some. And I know that you would still go above and beyond to find some research before this. So, Jay, I do know your opinions about this movie. This is a movie that you and I did talk about. We knew each other when this movie came out.
Yeah. Crazy.
And crazy, right? And I believe it was on both of our top 20s for 2019, if I'm not mistaken. It was. I literally saw, I did get a little inside baseball, but we usually over at InSession Film, we did an award show, and I literally watched this movie the day of the award show, and it squeaked into my top 20, and I'm thankful that it did. And also won my best original score for that year, which it should have.
Yeah.
Jay, I know you're
But it
very
was
high.
disqualified for, correct? I do know that,
No, well, it was
right? At
disqualified
the
by the Oscars.
awards?
Yeah, by the Oscars.
Or
Why
the
is that?
Oscars.
Why is that?
I think it's
Too
because
much
too much
old
class.
music.
Yeah, because
Oh,
their
yeah.
standards
previous
back
material.
then. Yeah, they've
Mhm.
changed that now. It probably would qualify now.
Ah,
Just like the most of the scores that have been disqualified in the last decade would probably, because they've allowed, more flexibility in there. Of course, then they in 5 years will change that back like they do all the damn time. You know what I mean? But anyway, Jay,
You think
you
Deadpool and Wolverine can get in despite the Like a Prayer thing?
God. Somebody kill me.
I
Just stop.
I hope so. I know how much you're a big fan of that movie, Jay, just as much as I know you're a big fan of A Hidden Life. So what are your thoughts on this movie? You crazy, crazy man.
What if he was
Yeah,
like,
let's
this
talk
is
about.
Malik's Deadpool and Wolverine? What if
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Well, this is I know
greatest
where
hits?
I do know where he's gonna go because he went to Caviezel already. So if you go to Caviezel, you go to Passion of the Christ. If you go to Mel Gibson, then you can say that this is Terrence Malick's Hacksaw Ridge. If you
Oh
want to go to
no.
that way,
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
But we
I know
did.
his
What did we?
mind.
What
I
did
know
we?
his
Did we
mind.
do? Did we do a lot of Hacksaw Ridge on Thin Red Line? Is that what we did?
I think so. You did a little bit of that there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's such a yeah. There's so many correlations between those. But let's talk a little bit about the background here. I will not bring up Deadpool and Wolverine again for the rest of the episode. I solemnly swear. So
I don't believe you. I don't believe
this film. This film was something, or the story of this film was something that had been brought to Terrence Malick's attention for a while, and he'd been kind of thinking about maybe making a movie about it. But writer Elizabeth Bentley, who doesn't have a ton of credits, but she had read the book that had all the letters between Franz and his wife, and she had the rights to that. And somehow word got to Malick that she had that, and Malick was like, "I would like to make that movie, please. Thank you." And really, the most interesting thing about this film is that Malick is returning to something that many people would refer to as writing a script, which is an interesting way to make a movie.
Imagine that.
Yes. So it was Mal, and you can see that in the movie itself. There's a lot more like purposeful blocking, and it's kind of more painterly than his last few films, which again I love. But this is something that I think this is his newest era. I think there's the 70s, and then there's obviously his big sabbatical, and then there's, in my opinion, Thin Red Line through Tree of Life, and then there are the floating Malick autobiographical movies, and I think this is a little bit of a hinge point for him. And I think he might admit the same, because he went out of his way to say, I'm kind of over the no script thing. And the other big thing about this film is it is fully digital. It is digitally shot. And that allows him in some ways, as scripted as he said this movie is, that also allows him to do 1 hour long takes where he is not beholden to film stock, and he can just keep filming. And there's a really good story of August Diehl, who's like, I was exhausted after a day of filming. I fell asleep under a tree, and then I woke up and there was a camera in my face.
I
it
believe
probably made it into the goddamn
And it
cut.
probably did. It's crazy. But this movie came out in 2019. Production began in mid 2016. Notably, not Lubeski shooting this film. However, it is a Lubeski collaborator, Jörg Widmer, I believe.
Can we
is
be
how you
careful with
pronounce
the
it.
term collaborator on this episode? I just that word has a lot of meanings in Nazi Germany. So let's
Okay,
just
a friend of Emmanuel
a
Lubezki.
cohort. Yes.
Yes, a co-worker of Emmanuel Lubezki. And I mean, that's a big deal, but this movie is stunningly beautiful, and it really looks like nothing else. It even looks different, I think, and maybe it is the digital that makes it look this way. It looks different than his last 3 films, although it has sort of the same sensibility. But aesthetically, again, it is that, it's more scripted. It's like, hey, you're going to stand here and you're going to stand here every now and then. That comes through in this movie. And there was something that Malick called quail hunting. And this does kind of speak to those weird sensibilities of catching accidental moments where there's this unique moment. The example that somebody said was somebody was lying under a tree and Malick didn't care, but then a fly flew on his face, and all of a sudden he's like, "We got to get that. This is the shot." And there's a moment that's actually very similar to that in the movie where there's a fly on a window, and it is striking. You're like, this with just a window, this is just another shot, but the fly adds this weird depth, and it makes this shot very compelling. But as usual, there were some actors who weren't really accustomed to or didn't take to the shooting style. August Diehl apparently embraced the process from the beginning. The quote that I saw from him was, "For the first time, I'm not acting. For the first time, I am the character." It's powerful stuff. I mean, that's really
And
cool.
it comes through.
It entirely does. It's an incredible performance. The one other kind of note I'll say about the production is that there are no primary colors in the film, or at least very limited, except for the swastika.
Yeah.
So certainly very purposeful there. I guess one last thing is that his daughters were involved in the process of the film, and Malick found it very important that they give their stamp of approval on the movie. So
nice.
It was very well examined and specific and detailed, and wanted to really pay homage to Franz's story. As for the movie itself, it rules. It's a masterpiece. I liked it a lot more the second time. This is a film where the first time I watched it, I remember watching this, it was in the dregs of award season, where it was like, I got to vote for my favorite movies in 2 weeks. God, this one's 3 hours long. It's a burden that costs me like one other movie that I could watch that I need to vote for. And I think that was very detrimental to this film the first time I watched it. I really liked it the first time, but when you really get to sit with it stress-free and experience it and let it wash over you, I think it pays off. It's an incredible experience. I mean, it really is such an impactful film. The score, I think, is incredible. It's totally deserving of whatever stupid rules were in place then. Just give it the nomination. James Newton Howard's score is unbelievable in this movie. And the performances are immaculate. It is incredible to me that this movie cost under $10 million. And obviously a lot of what
you don't have to pay for the film.
Malick's, well, that's true. And also you don't have to pay for the movie star talent, which Malick has never really had to do. And that's what keeps him making movies. But obviously in this one, he doesn't have the benefit of giving Ryan Gosling minimum, right? He just got to make it based on the fact that it's Malick going back to doing something a little more traditional. And so we got to make this movie. And also generally people are kind of all for giving Malick money, a little bit of money to make his movies.
Totally.
But it is it's a movie that is 3 hours long, and yes, to a certain extent you do feel that length, but I think that's entirely purposeful and pays off in the end in very impactful ways. And August Diehl is incredible in the film. I think for me, the entire story is about how hard it is for evil to live in the shadows, but how goodness can just sort of pass by without anybody knowing about it or it being put in the history books. But in reality, that is the stuff that sort of keeps society moving in some sort of positive direction. And in that classic Malick way, has sort of this cosmic impact that has an impact far beyond the act itself. And it's sort of like this grounding spiritual endeavor or choice that it goes far beyond this earthly realm. And it's what Dave's talking about. It's like finding that faith. I consider myself, like, without being specifically spiritual in some way. I'm like, I'm very inquisitive with regards to that stuff. And I feel that in all of his films, and that is the case with this film as well. And maybe one of the more interesting parts of the film too is this is the one film in Terrence Malick's filmography that is not an American story. Not all of his movies take place in America, but this is entirely not an American story. And I think he is sort of they put bumpers on him a little bit by making it a biopic to a certain extent. It's like this is what happened. So you have to stay kind of within the bounds of what happened.
Sure.
And I think that makes it a film that more people can kind of latch onto, a broader audience can get behind. But it still has all those late Malick tendencies with such intense patience and a look that no other movie has really looked like in the last decade. Again, I think it even looks different than his previous 3 films, probably because of that digital cinematography. The wide lenses are just like, oh my God. It's like these people's faces are entire landscapes, and then the landscapes behind them are additional landscapes. There is this grandiosity and this sense of these people being so at the forefront of the film, but also in the context of the universe around them being so minuscule. And that's the balance that Malick is, the delicate balance that Malick is trying to maintain over the course of this movie. And I think he does it exquisitely. I think this is, I think it's a masterpiece. And I also think it's his like 7th best movie. So
there you go. Yeah. By the way, you mentioned like all this excess of filming. Apparently, his next movie, whenever that comes out, has 3,000 hours of film shot. So
good. That sounds good. Count me in.
Release the cut.
Release the Malick cut.
No, that's
could actually make a whole goddamn streaming service based off of that.
Sorry, you can't watch any other movies for that.
Well, this is why this man has to have like 4 or 5 editors put his movie together. It's a group effort. It's honestly kind of great. Like, I know this is kind of weird to say that about like you got like this much film stock and footage and everything, but like it makes
think about some other movies like
a collaborative experience.
Like the Amy documentary. They had that much footage and they made a movie, the
God bless digital. That's
I mean, like these God love these directors that still do film. Like I know no one put together a 3-hour movie and it was very tight and everything last year, but I'm just like, how much did did Jennifer Lame have to go through, to cut that whole thing together with him? You know what I mean? Like how much does Thelma have to put together in order to, I know I think Marty switched to digital, right? No?
Yeah. I think so.
I think so, but or I think he goes back and forth, but still, like, poor Thelma's being like, can we do like a 90-minute movie, Marty? Like,
can we go back to Mean Streets? What are we doing?
To like Color of Money, maybe, like can we go Alice Doesn't Live Here?
Also, that's an interesting thing to bring up because this was kind of this weird era of Christian films between like Silence, Scorsese's Silence, and First Reformed, where it's a very different kind of Christian film, but it's a very Christian forward movie. It was this weird era of like 3 or 4 years where those were, I don't want to know if en vogue is the word, but they were getting made.
I think it was these auteurs looking through an older lens,
aging auteurs.
And it's totally. I mean, it's part of the trend of like, you could say that, Jay. I mean, you could also say, it's they either were looking back on religion and kind of condemning it or having conflicted feelings about it, or they were looking back on their childhood and deeply examining those romantic, if not also terrifying experiences that shaped who they are. And
just trying to find a point in existence.
Exactly. And I think that's where Malick is at, where I think that, yes, by the, reading up on this as well too, because that's what made me really curious about him going to make A Hidden Life, was he was firmly set for the majority of the last decade, minus the Tree of Life, in a more contemporary experimental status. And this was very much presented as back to basics or back to
Malick's back, baby.
back to the old ways of making a more historical piece, or definitely something based off the past and not something within the modern context. Obviously,
Well, he had literally never made a contemporary movie before those three. They were all
they were all
pieces.
period pieces. No, for sure.
Even Badlands was looking back a little bit.
A little bit. You know what I mean? No, for sure. And I agree with Jay. I was rushing, like I said earlier, to kind of see this, and this was the last thing I saw before we were literally doing, handing out awards and talking about top tens of the year. And it was like it was kind of like how you are right now, Dave. I was 2 hours before the show, and I'm sitting there in my living room watching a screener, which also wasn't the best way to watch this either.
I think actually
I felt like Dave. I felt like Dave. Because Dave always brings his shit up on Twitter.
I watched it on Amazon Prime on 4K. I will give it that.
I did not get to see it in theaters because it was not in my theaters.
Yep.
And Dave, because he lives in Lexington, Kentucky, right?
That's correct.
Does not get to have a lot of the smaller films presented to him. RIP to you with The Brutalist later this year, my friend.
I know, which sucks because that's the exact kind of movie I like.
I know.
So it's
right.
Like,
and that's what's so interesting about
Deadpool and Wolverine. We got that, baby.
It's right there, just like a prayer. It'll get you there. But I'm
not allowed to bring that movie up.
You're not allowed to bring it up. How dare you? We're not supposed to talk about it. But anyway, I agree with Jay. Again, 5 years later, Blu-ray, and also time in between, not just as we in between watching and discussing
that's
song to song.
A benefit for this movie is we've been talking about Terrence Malick for 2.5 months.
We have been, but also we took a little how the sausage has been made. We took a little time off in between recording this and doing the song to song the Night of Cups episodes. So it was kind of like jumping back in like we did in 2019 back into his more period piece focused past work. And so I sat down and I watched this, and it blew me away at just how beautiful it is. I don't think that it's one of his best, but it's still an impeccable movie. Like that's the thing about it. It's like Jay, I know you said this.
Good director, I think.
Good director at his job, made a lot of movies that I love. And this one is no different because I agree with Dave. This is like a little bit of a miracle of a movie. It costs nothing. It does not compromise his artistic abilities at all. If anything, it honestly strengthens himself to finally sit down and do what Christopher Plummer told him 2 years ago, which is to make a goddamn script. And even still, he's got the voiceovers and the acting and everything.
But imagine him saying that about The New World, and then imagine him watching
The New World
to the Wonder.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, fuck. You know what I mean? But because he made those comments literally before those movies ever existed. But I think that this is a really beautiful film. And I'm not saying that it is an answer to, like we mentioned, Hacksaw Ridge or other films that were coming out at that time, but it does weirdly feel like it came out right at the right time because there were a lot of these religious movies and these people talking about conscientious objectors or religious persecution or reclaiming of faith. And it was a really strong turnaround on that from a lot of auteurs. And in comes Malick, a man of God, really to just be like, this is actually how it really should be depicted. There's a lot of conflict and it's not easy. And the sacrifices that are made are devastating. And through the moments of waiting for your impending death, you're thinking back on moments of pure beauty. And it really was a movie. As I was watching it, I was like, okay, you fucking did it again, you bastard. You are a genius. And it weirdly plays off in its ending. I filled like similar beats at
God, the last
times
10 to 15
to
minutes of this movie are like unbelievable.
they are, and they were reminding me of just the same feeling I had during Tree of Life, where it is all encompassing, all just coming
But it's
together.
so much more grounded. They're
It's
not
yeah.
going to this
You're not
ethereal
going to this.
plane or
No,
anything.
you're. It is a memory box, and you can
It's
feel. I
much more
felt
literal.
yeah, it literally is. It's
Yeah.
like this man is looking back on his life and he literally has 10 minutes. He has 5 minutes. He has this. He's thinking through the letters and the moments that he had with where it was pure beauty and it was bliss, and how all of that, even though affects his decision, not only affects him, but it affects his town, the people he's interconnected with, the people he's
The
been in
cut from
the
the execution to the river is an
is
all-timer, in my
yeah.
opinion.
And this is a man that continues to find new meaning
Malick loves a river.
in river and water, but this is peaceful, even though that peaceful in that sound means the loss of life even more. And it's not
It's about
done.
movement.
Yeah, and it's about moving forward with these ideals and this sense of duty to not be corrupted by
The river is guiding
these
to your ultimate
terrible
destination.
forces. Exactly. And so I just think also too of all these moments with the children and just constant going back and forth to that. Not that I want to get you to cry or anything, Jay. But it just, for me, it was just.
Oh, the one at the end where they're playing with like the bell or whatever they're doing. I mean, that's like unreal.
Again, that's just what he's doing it all for. And it's to, his sacrifices are to keep a sense of his family innocence, this place of innocence. And I also just think too, I know that we're making fun of the wheat fields and everything.
No, I'm not. It is good.
No, I know we made a joke of that really quick, but I thought that those moments were so peaceful and simple and elegant and workmanlike, and it was like I could see why Malick had so many of those shots in the film, because it feels as if a little bit of like himself is in there. This sense of
but also this idea
because
of
he is a
reaping
workman,
what you sow.
and reaping what you sow, and but also
the Reaper
too,
has multiple.
It does. It really does. But there's elegance also in violence and tearing things down and necessity to that. But there's also a sense of like, I don't know, when they're all doing it together and working together, it doesn't have to look as bad as it seems, taking care of this land and whatnot. It can be a communal experience rather than the death of everyone. And so I feel like there's so many things in this movie that I didn't catch the first go round because we were rushing to judge. And I think also all the people that are just like, it's back to basics, are clearly missing, I think, a lot of the beauty that is inside this movie. And it is so thoughtful, and it's still him. It's not as focused as most modern films are, but definitely since Tree of Life, it is his more focused in terms of the achievement of what he's trying to say about this specific man and his actions. I think it is a wonderful film. And then, it's like his 7th or 8th best movie. And it's still a movie that I would recommend over hundreds of movies that I've watched in the last couple of years. So,
and I also think people pushed against it. It's long. Movie long. It's
movie is long. And Dave loves a long movie. I'm telling you.
This is short. Come on. It's not 3:47. Like my favorite movie.
What's your favorite movie?
Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh man. That's got an intermission and everything.
Seeing that bad boy in 70 was a real religious.
I'm telling you to see that.
Hey, have I mentioned that I hate you? I just want to make that clear.
It's not only a long movie, it is a long movie where in the courtyard of the jail speaking is forbidden. And I mean, It is not taking it easy on the audience as you would
No.
expect from Terrence Malick, but it is a film that if you engage with it, when I watched it this time, I put my phone upstairs. I have a phone locker right now. It's embarrassing that I need it,
We
but I
all
have a
do.
phone
We all
jail
do.
where you can
Wait.
set an alarm and be like 3 hours, beep, not allowed to get to my phone for 3 hours.
Wait, so you have like the
Uh,
bag like they do at the concerts?
Well, it's like a plastic thing. It's all plastic, and I put it
Yeah,
face
you
down
have
and I put it in there.
you have a bag in the it's essentially so
Whatever.
you,
I don't know what that means.
you know you never heard of that?
No.
So you know at like concerts, Dave, you know that when I'm
I
going
do.
with this.
Yes.
So like
yes.
these controversial comedians that basically are just saying really racist, transphobic jokes, go out there and they take your phones before you go to the concert.
Well, I knew that.
And you can't have them back because we don't want any of this social stuff. So that sounds essentially like what you're trying
What does that
to
have to do with a bag?
Well, they put it in a bag. And
All
then
right,
you,
sure.
and
I
then
mean,
you,
I guess that's
and then
kind
they
of the same
zip it
thing.
up, lock it up, and then give you the key.
But
or
I
the
do it for
ticket.
different reasons. It's because I don't want to have access to my phone.
Well, Jay is actually the one on here most likely to probably get canceled out of all of us, to be fair.
That's probably true.
That's
but
true.
this
That's why I brought it up.
I put my phone upstairs, and I do this for a lot of movies. And
Honestly,
I won't do
probably the right way to do it. Honestly,
It is, especially for this movie. Like you really need
all
to-
his movies,
honestly,
really, to be generous.
but honestly, for most movies in general, like what
Yeah,
am I
man.
going to do? Like look at the plot for the movie that I'm watching and be like, who's that actor? I'm gonna go.
I
look
was
at my
watching a
phone and
movie the
figure
other
that out.
night, and my phone buzzed, and I had to turn off notifications because I just wanted to sit there and watch it because I was really into it.
Right.
Unless I'm
And-
like rewatching a movie. If I'm rewatching, I rewatched I mean this movie is too good to have your phone out too, but I've seen it like 6,000 times. I was watching Catch Me If You Can, and I was like,
oh,
I know when I need to look up and when I don't, and I'm just gonna like casually watch this.
Jay,
But
Jay,
sorry, Stevie.
two mice, a bucket of cream.
Ah,
Which one am I?
a future episode of my podcast, by the way, coming up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a
It's-
masterpiece.
That's top
3.
5
top
Spielberg.
it's
me,
top 3 for me.
sure. Maybe 3. Maybe
It
3.
might be
I love that
number
movie.
2. It might be number 2 for me.
Wow.
Behind what?
Raiders of the Lost Ark is number 1. That's like not even-
Raiders, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good list.
Raiders
There's about
no,
7 movies you can pick, just like Malick, where it's like, you
Yeah.
could just be like,
I think
yeah,
top
these
3
are all great.
I think top 3 is Raiders, Catch Me If You Can, Jaws. Those are the 3. Those are the
I think
like,
I go
those are-
Raiders, E.T., Catch Me If You Can.
I think ET's up there too.
E.T. is like undeniable.
But then
Here's
like
my-
Munich,
Then
Here's
like
my
Munich's up
controversial
there.
take. Munich is in my top 3.
Yeah,
Munich
Munich's
is
up
right. I was
there.
going to say
Yeah, it's
Munich
like
is
right
4th.
up there.
I love Munich.
Love Munich.
We talked about
is
Munich
so
years
good.
ago.
Yeah.
There's some
Munich
there's some
rocks.
there are some that I need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, Munich.
I've been
anyway,
really I might do that dive after this. You know what I mean?
My hidden life. Locked my phone up, watched it, and just was really. If you turn the volume up, turn the lights off, and just engage with this movie, it will wrap you up, even through all of its tedium. Which the tedium is the point. And
Yeah.
also, you'll see some every time Franz Rogowski pops up, you're pointing at the screen like Leo DiCaprio and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
100%. Yep.
You're like, is that the greatest living actor alive right there?
Maybe.
I mean, he's
It
got
might
he's
be.
got a damn good case for it, I think, right now. He is truly
He's
if he's
great.
He's on a
if
heat.
he's
on
in
a
any
heater.
if he's in anything, I'm seeing that.
Mhm.
Even though I say that, I was at a film festival and he's in Andrew Arnold's new film Bird, and it was really late at night. And I was like, I'm not gonna go to it. And then somebody told me the next morning, Franz Rogowski's in that, and I'm like, I was so angry, I forgot about that. Like Keoghan won't do it, but he will. You know what I mean? He'll get me in the door.
He's great.
Yeah.
But
He's
I mean,
wonderful in
August
this movie.
Diehl, are we all in agreement that he's incredible in this movie? Or
Well, I mean,
he's
like, yeah, I mean,
remarkable?
I think for most of us, we know him from
Inglourious
Inglourious
Basterds.
Basterds, which he is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
and of
in
course
that
the
tavern
King's
scene.
Man.
Is the
Which I haven't
King's
even
Man?
seen.
Obviously.
It's just
Is
second.
the
It's
King-
just second on his.
Is the
thing.
King's Man the one with Ray Fiennes?
Yes, it is. That is the one that doesn't
World War
have
One?
Edgerton in it. Yeah,
That's
I
the
didn't
one
see
that-
that one.
That's the one that teases
I have
it.
not seen it.
So wouldn't you say like that's the one that essentially is a prequel to this because it teases Adolf Hitler at the end of that movie? Do you guys
Well, the
know
question
that?
is, I mean, August Diehl is one of those classic guys who has played a Nazi many times, and then also played like a Nazi,
An
guy who
objector.
was a
Yeah.
conscientious objector
Objector.
to
A guy who
Nazism.
is not Nazi.
Those are the words.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Anti-Nazi.
Yes, yes, an anti-Nazi.
German.
Yes.
I'm trying to see, who does he play in this? Oh, you're not going to believe this. Daniel Bruhl plays a Nazi in that movie.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Unbelievable.
No, do
Shocking.
you guys not know the ending of that movie? Have you guys never seen that
Nope.
online? All right, I'll
I
tell
think
you.
it's like
real quick.
it's like the tease of Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly.
Hitler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, oh shucks, we didn't get them. Those damn Kingsmen foiled us, and da 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 da. And now World War One's about to end, but we have an ace up our sleeve. And Daniel Bruhl introduces it to another guy or whatever, and goes, I'd like to introduce you to Adolf Hitler. And like literally Adolf Hitler walks
No
out.
way.
I kid you not. It is, I'm not joking. That is literally how that movie ends.
All right.
That's
Even
awful.
crazier. You know who August Diehl plays in The King's Man?
Who does he play?
Vladimir Lenin.
Look, a gig's a gig, man.
You gotta pay the
work.
bills.
You
A gig is a
gotta
gig.
work.
He wasn't getting 10 million for A Hidden Life. That is for sure.
That
I don't
is
know if
the
he's
whole
getting 10
movie.
million for that either. I mean, he's probably getting like,
He probably got paid more for that.
He probably got paid like
Five?
5 times
Yeah.
more than this.
Probably thinking-
which is
Yeah.
he probably
everything
quoted a
that's
good
wrong.
$4 to $5 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super wild when they do. Matthew Vaughn, what a hack. Anyway,
Matthew Vaughn's made
So-
some good stuff.
So not coming up on your monthly.
no, like I attest that I think Matthew Vaughn currently is one of our bad
I disagree with
filmmakers.
that.
I would take a Guy Ritchie movie over a Matthew.
Well,
Vaughn
I
movie.
agree with that, but I actually kind of like Guy Ritchie. What's the one he made this
He
year?
made Argyle, for Christ's sake.
There's stuff in that. There's stuff in Argyle.
That's my least favorite movie this year.
It's my least favorite movie.
It's
of
at the
year,
bottom.
okay?
It's awful.
And
There's
I can
stuff
tell
in
you
that.
this: I know it's Sophia's. I know it's a bunch of people on the staff's worst film of the year.
As it should be. You got a
It
good
should be.
staff. You
It
got a
is
good
one of
staff.
the worst looking movies, incoherent,
I know,
babbling.
and you're talking to
pieces
the
of
guy
bullshit.
who like values visuals above all.
Yeah,
but
I'm sitting here
I think
going
there's some
like,
stuff in that.
you're like Malik's my guy, but also okay, there's
I
some
think that
stuff.
movie's
in
got some stuff.
there.
What
yeah,
if Malick made Argyle? That'd be good.
that would have? Oh my god, it would have all been through the eye of the cat.
Yes.
Actually, that would have been really
Actually
good.
better.
Actually, you know what?
Yes.
Fair. The cat would have like, do you imagine like the cat voiceover?
No, this
Meow.
is like Malick could
meow.
make Argyle, but he couldn't make
He
any
couldn't
of these movies.
But Matthew Vaughn couldn't make Song to Song.
Oh no.
Yeah.
God, that
what
would've
do you
been
what do
bad.
you what do you think of Malick's relationship to martyrdom?
Oh, you think
No, I'm asking, like, what do you think his relationship to martyrdom is based on this movie?
Dave, you go first. You're the guest.
I think his relationship in this movie in particular is that there are things worth dying for.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, there are doing the right thing is important. Doing the right thing for the innocence of your family and your village is even more important.
But
And
Isn't it
And
also-
the question is, as a dad, what he is doing is, and they make a point of this in the movie, is now his wife is subjected to being the caretaker for the farm, the caretaker for their children, which at a
Mhm.
certain point she does end up resenting. But
Sure.
it is all in the name of some sort of, again, it transcends.
Yeah, it
that
transcends
experience.
that, not only in that way of like beyond this earthly realm, as you mentioned, but also I think what he's saying is he can't be a true husband and a true father if he does this. He can't be the man that they need if he, says Hitler's fine. I'm
There's a
gonna
net
I'm gonna raise the
negative
hen.
to
right?
his family.
So it's like, even if
yeah.
I'm there to take care of them, I am no longer who I was. I am
Mhm.
less than. So I have to take this stand, even if it ends with my death, even if it ends with them having to fend for themselves. At least they know that their husband and their father did the right thing.
Yeah, it's
He is the man we knew. because he
Yeah.
wouldn't be the man they knew if he came back.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very much. Jay, I know you're not a big fan of this movie that I'm about to bring up, but I think in
Oh, it's
concert,
like, I was like, what?
I think in concert,
Cocaine Bear.
no, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I know you
Pride of
weren't.
Kentucky. Just
I
saying,
know
Pride
you
of
weren't
Kentucky.
high on this movie that came out last year, but I do. When I was watching this movie, I thought a lot about his decision making
You're
in
talking about.
relation
I
to
thought
the
about this movie a lot
to
too.
the zone of interest
Oh yeah.
and
The Zone
how
of Interest is an inside out movie. This is an outside in movie.
exactly. I actually think they really work well in concert with one another in terms of morality and value
Mhm.
systems and
And they're both
how.
5-star movies. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, Jay,
I
I think
don't
you.
love Zone of Interest,
Jay, I
but
think
yeah,
you should give it a rewatch.
I need to watch.
really,
I need to
yeah,
watch it
I
again.
think you. Yeah,
It's great.
I think you really would. I think actually after watching this movie,
It would be
I think you
really
should
interesting
rewatch
That'd be an
it.
interesting double feature.
Yeah, it would be a very
if you want to kill yourself. It would be a really interesting double
But the
feature.
thing,
But no, but I
the
think to your.
Glazer's sensibility is the exact opposite of
Yeah.
Malick, which would
No.
make it interesting. But also, I am so drawn towards Malick's open-mindedness
Well,
and
yes, I mean he's very.
cosmic,
I mean he is,
you know,
but
worldview,
even in Zone of
transcendent
Interest,
worldview.
but even in a movie like Zone of Interest, there's still, even though the main characters are still beholden to their ignorance, you see moments in that movie where even that wanes on certain characters, especially like the mother character coming and visiting and seeing the smoke and seeing the fire and not being able to embrace that or be a part of that anymore, complicit in this. And I think Dave's
I
absolutely
think this
correct.
movie has so much more nuance than that movie.
Oh, I think they
I don't know,
both
that's just my
I
take.
think they both equally have that nuance in it because I think you just
I'm not going to
that.
litigate
No, no, no,
that
no.
movie.
I
I
know
don't
you're
like
not.
it as much as other
I
people
know
do.
you're not. I'm just saying I think that this movie, they're in concert with one another because his decision making process is a lot like what Dave is bringing up, where it is one of I'm putting my foot down because, like Dave, you're saying, how can I be the man that I am and the father I am to teach the way of my life and what I was brought up and what I've learned and what is the right thing to do, and morally then wear those colors and be a part of that machine that is fundamentally against the values that I would present to my children and to my children's children, that I'm willing to risk my life and therefore cost a generation of memories in my brain
Mhm.
in order to
Well, that movie's
make
all
sure.
about cognitive dissonance, right?
Well,
I mean,
no,
that's
but
all about.
I'm talking about this one. I'm talking about this movie.
Oh yeah. This is about the exact opposite of that.
No, that, and that's what I'm saying is that he
Yeah.
is making this decision, even though the trickle down effects of that affect his children and his wife in the moment horribly.
In a worldly sense.
It's yes, but in actuality, the river will still flow. The time will still go. Their story will continue, and his act of defiance turns into a moment worth celebrating and remembering longer than anything in the field.
Wasn't that a Daniel Craig movie, Defiance?
Yes.
Yes,
That's
it
what you
was.
got out of everything I just said there.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
there
but-
was something
yeah.
I noticed this time that I don't think I really took in, because actually I was going to bring up, I had forgotten that I had also, when I watched this, it was those like film independent screeners. And I was going through, I was watching like, 5 movies a day or whatever.
Gotta get my
and
rankings. Gotta get my
yeah,
rankings. Gotta get
yeah,
my rankings.
it's so unhealthy. It's like the worst way, especially for this movie. The thing that wows me about this movie is that even though this is obviously a difficult decision, it's not really played that way. It's never played like he's not actually torn. He's torn because of what might happen to his family, but there is no part of him that doubts that this is the right decision. And it's such an interesting way to write this story, because you could write, if you had someone other than Malick involved in this movie, you would have like extended soliloquies about the difficulty of choice and talking to like 19 different people. And even when he's talking to other people about this choice, he is stable in his decision, and it becomes
Mhm.
more of a discussion of not what do I do, but why is the world so wrong? Why is
Right.
everything else so screwed up? What do you do when your leaders are evil, when your leaders won't stand up for good? What do you
Hmm.
do when the people who represent your faith, which is supposed to be the be all of morality, tell you basically just it's fine. We know that you're good. Just do it and walk away, and then you can live your life. And these are the people that are supposed to be the harbingers of what's right. And yet you are the only one who is willing to make that right choice. And I love that this movie decides, like, I'm not actually going to have him be torn about this decision. It's just going to be this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it
And him
because
trying
that's
to
who I
get his
am.
family at peace, to come to peace with that
Yeah,
idea, and even become appreciative of the sacrifice that he is making
totally.
on their behalf. Really, I mean, like, for them, to a certain extent. And it's really, really impactful. And there are some great lines in this film from, people who are like, what are you doing? Nobody is going to know about this. And that's the title of the film. That's A Hidden
Yeah.
Life. It's about
Hmm.
how these unseen people are the ones really propelling goodness in the world a lot of the time. And again, like I said earlier, you hear about, the concentration camps. You hear about that stuff, but you don't hear about Franz's
Hmm.
sacrifice, which
Hmm.
was, um, one of complete selflessness. And,
Hmm.
even though in some ways, again, like I said, there is a way to construe his actions as selfish because he is stripping himself away from his family. But Malick is way less concerned with the worldly implications of what he is doing than the transcendent ones. And
Hmm.
that's the Malick sensibility. That's the Malick thesis. And
Yeah.
that's what I love so much about him. And it's very interesting to see him come back to that in a more traditional narrative format than we've seen in the past films, where I still think he's
Hmm.
addressing that, but he's addressing that by people going and ordering Slurpees at Sonic, as opposed to people being imprisoned by Nazi Germany.
Right.
And it's a lot easier to digest when it is that Nazis are always going to be shorthand for evil. And so that is something that is
I
a
mean,
lot
depends who
easier
you
to
talk to in
grapple
America.
with.
I'm just saying,
Well,
it depends.
that makes this movie frighteningly
Yeah.
contemporary, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And as I'm watching the movie this time and I brought up this idea of heroism on screen, everyone more than one person tells him, like, no one's going to remember. It's not going to matter. Your stand that you're taking is not going to change history. People are still going to die. They're still going to take over the world. It's useless for you to do this, which is so his act is diametrically opposed from like the hero's journey that we're used to, where it's like, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to
I'm
change
going
the
to
world.
overcome.
Right. I'm going to meet my mentor. He's going to teach me. I'm going to, in some cases, I'm going to end up killing my father over this. I
Me
am
and
going
Franz
to be a
Rogowski are going
hero.
to reenact Shawshank Redemption.
Right. And in this, it's like, no, the heroic act is the silent heroism. It's the
Mhm.
doing the right thing, even though he knows. I don't think he ever thinks at any point in this movie, I'm going to win. I'm going to get to go home. And this is going to stop this train from moving. He
There's very
knows
little
that it's not.
drama in the movie.
Almost
Yeah.
none. And he knows that it's not going to do any overarching good, but it's still the right and good thing to do. And what is more heroic than acting correctly in the face of your own mortality? Like, I can't imagine.
Mhm.
Like, you watch movies and sometimes you put yourself in that position. And I would love to think that I would do what he did, but I don't know that I could if you told me you can't ever see your family again and you're going to die because of this choice. That's true belief. That's true almost zealotry in the right thing. And it's beautiful to watch on screen. I was stunned by it.
Yeah, there's what's maybe my favorite line in the movie, and I'm gonna get it a little bit wrong, but somebody says to him, God doesn't care what you say. They're trying to convince him to sign the papers and live. And they say, God doesn't care what you say. He only cares what you know inside. And he still is not satisfied by that idea, right? It's about your actions speaking louder than your words, or in this case, your inner thoughts, and how he's not just trying to prove a point, but he's trying to set an example.
Right. And also an interesting corollary to silence, which one of you brought up before, like that.
Yeah.
These two kind of play off of each other. And another movie I adore. So
that's a movie I need to rewatch. That one I was lukewarm on when I watched it, but I've only seen it the one time. I need to rewatch it, especially in the shadow of a Malick series. I'm sure that would strike a little harder.
Yes.
Ryan, what you got? Got anything?
Just a damn good movie.
It's a damn good movie.
No, for me, I love for me though, the beginning of this movie, I think, Jay, you mentioned it, like the first 30 minutes of it. Or no, it was Dave. Dave, you were mentioning the first 30 minutes of it.
Yeah, I said something really smart.
If it was a good
That's
point,
right.
it was probably Dave.
Somebody said something smart.
I'll take it.
One of y'all
It's me.
Take some credit.
I'm happy to do that.
I think just going back to really set up the beauty within his life, the simpleness there.
Mhm.
I think like a lot of people I read were talking about how like this movie has, I mean, yes, I know it's long. I think there's, obviously there's a point to it. And I think a lot of that stuff in the beginning is to set up the life that he is going to give up.
Yeah.
And the beauty that is all set up within his world, and how that sort of crumbles. And much of this is about his family. But then to have these like other actors kind of come in, these townspeople represent that like there's this long extended sequence where he's being essentially yelled at on the street.
Yeah.
About
and then his wife gets accosted later over the course of the movie.
And it's about like
the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a really
Mr. Burns of his village.
Exactly. What is it? The guy from oh God, what's the guy from It's a Wonderful Life? The guy.
Oh God, I should know
the bad
that.
guy. Yeah, you should. I should know it too. Anyway,
I'll think about it.
Yeah, just look it up for a second.
Potter.
That Potter. Thank you very much. Yeah, he really is, because they're all looking at it through in the moment selfish reasons. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that they know,
but also understandable reasons.
No, I mean, like,
think that the
Nazis are going to just wipe off this
occupy
town,
their village.
Yeah.
I mean, and
makes sense.
But it's also through the sense of that person will lose.
And I don't think this movie has any judgment of them necessarily.
No, it's not. It's also their way of coping with the survival that they need to do in order to live the life through their values.
They're making the easy decision, and
he's making the hard
Franz
one.
is making the
easy decision, just like in politics, life, anything that is affirming. The easy decision is to just go ahead and agree with what is coming, rather than
give
fight
into
back
the forces that are more powerful.
Exactly. Just say, you know what? It's bigger than me.
You
go on ahead and do so. I'll stand by there. I will watch as genocide happens. Meanwhile,
but they'll stand by while genocide happens completely out of sight.
Yes.
Right. So they can put that out of mind, similar to Zone of Interest a little bit, although obviously much further distance, but it's a similar concept.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just think that, and I do agree with you, Jay, this movie is not judgmental at all. It's a
Terrence Malick movie.
Well, I mean, yes. And I think that there's a lot of
some Terrence Malick's movies are kind of judgmental.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like Michael Fassbender's character in Song to Song is not judged a bit. for his actions and stuff.
True. Well, that's
and I
a
do,
Christian allegory.
well, I do also think that like Affleck and also Bale's characters into the more contemporary films, there is a bit of judgment because he's reflecting the camera
There's
back
some
on himself.
cynicism to some of those movies that I don't think exist here.
No, I don't, because I think it's going back to the more observer that he is here. And through observation, one cannot judge in the moment without understanding both sides of the coin and both sides of any argument, or understand the values of people are different than ones that you bring in to the subject. And so I think that, you know, the runtime for some, while it is mundane, to me, again, it establishes perfectly the urgency and the pain and the exhaustion of making decisions like this. And it's the cost of keeping one's head and heart connected in a lot of ways, is what I felt.
But importantly,
I was watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's your heart is your family. Your head is your values.
Right.
So this wants to give in. I'm pounding at my chest right here. It wants to give in because of those beautiful children, the land that you live on, the simple, quiet life with your wife that you built. But your brain is telling you, I cannot do that, against every single person that is against you. You know what I mean? And yet they blend perfectly because Malick understands that. And yes, his classic imagery is there. Yes, I love the sequences where he is questioning his faith and questioning the idea of what does this sacrifice mean, and would God still accept me?
He's pretty steadfast in his belief. It's
He's
mostly
steadfast.
other people who are like,
but
this means nothing. What you're doing means absolutely
but he's
nothing.
still trying to make sure. I think that those scenes are, for me, while he is firmly planted, he's still in him, at least in my perspective, looking for answers to see if this is correct.
No, sure. Yeah.
And
sure.
everyone's telling him, yes, no, you're wrong. Because you look, you know, because like this is an insane thing to do. Conform. And he's like, you know, the way in which you are saying to conform is actually the reason why I shouldn't.
That's correct.
And it's not out of defiance, it's out of logic.
Yeah.
Which is, and I think that is
it's spiritual. It's spirituality. It's
spiritual.
Not logic. There's nothing logical about what he's doing. He's defying every logical impulse that every person in the movie has.
Well, no, I mean, it is logical in his values, which then therefore brings in religion.
Sure. It reflects his value system.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. And crucially, I think one very important thing, the movie that I was thinking about while I was watching this was a movie I like a lot, Steve McQuade's Hunger, which that is a movie that really revels in the physical pain that person is going through. And you know that is happening here as well, but it is so much more focused on the spiritual, transcendental resoluteness of Franz in a way that is really communicating what the movie is about, because it's about so much. It's about looking forward as opposed to reveling in the present, which is what a movie like Hunger does. And again, I like that movie a lot. It's just trying to do something very different. This is a movie about recognizing that there is import beyond the moment, beyond what is happening right now in a hidden life. And that's what's so powerful about it.
Yeah. I just want to bring up, Ryan, you brought up that essentially like the first hour, maybe, which is like all telling you exactly what's important to him. It's making you take the time to live this simple life with him. But I think there's two things going on. There's two reasons for the length of these sequences. One is what you mentioned, that you need to see what this is all for. And the second thing is the dynamic comparison between this life and when he goes off to, be trained in their military or when he's imprisoned. They almost feel like they're in completely different worlds. And I think that is on purpose. Like that first hour when he's home, if they didn't tell you what year it was, do you think you would know? I wouldn't. It could be any time. It could be any time in the history of the world. I wouldn't know where it was. I wouldn't know when it
Yeah.
was. But then, of course, once you get to Nazi Germany, when you see the flags hanging up and you see everyone in their uniforms, it is a shock to the system. Even though the movie starts with film of Hitler, the movie takes its time so much before you're reintroduced to Nazi Germany that as I watch it, I feel invaded as I
Oh, it's a
watch him
Paradise
force.
Lost. Almost every Malick movie is a
Absolutely.
Paradise Lost story.
Yeah,
And this
for
is
sure.
that once again. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a stunning change in the movie. Like I won't mention this person's name, but I saw someone on Letterboxd say that the first hour is a great Malick movie, and then the second 2 hours are terrible, or like they're not a Malick movie, blah blah blah, whatever. But I can understand that thought process because that first hour does feel like Malick to a T.
Transcendent. Yeah.
It feels like if you programmed an AI to make a Malick movie, you would see something like this. It's like, okay, yeah, you got all the, you got the family stuff, you got the kids running around, you've got the farm, all that stuff. And then the movie does take a turn. I think it's a turn that works, but it's definitely not going to work for everybody. But I just think it's kind of stunning the way he chose to structure this movie that you have kind of three different movies and yet they all weave together and work. And the thing I was thinking as I was watching this is strangely this may be one of his most straightforward movies in terms of plot line. Like
There's like
it's
there's like 2-3 characters of
right.
that really matter.
Yeah, it's almost like writing a script helps. That's, I am team
I would say it's
script for
this.
Malick.
Well, it's probably this and his 70s movies. Those are the three.
Yeah. Yeah. But even those, I think, wander a little bit more. This one is
Definitely
very
Days
like
of Heaven. Badlands, I think, is sort of in the same vein.
Yeah, that's
Just
probably
because
true.
of
Yeah.
few characters. I think if
Yeah.
we've posed this question, if you recommend a Terrence Malick film to like a normal person, which one do you recommend?
Do you? I think
I know.
that
I mean,
might be a bad
if you're trying to be like,
decision.
I'm trying to get this person on the hook. I'm trying to hook them. I think your best bet for me, I said Thin Red Line, just because there's like a grounding
Yeah.
of World War II movie.
Yeah.
Some people said Badlands.
Yeah, it's either
Just because
Badlands
that's
or
a
the
pretty
Thin Red Line.
straightforward movie. Yeah.
I think those are the only two options, I think. Unless,
What did I say,
and it
Jay?
also,
What did
You
I
might have
say?
said The New World.
I think I said the New World.
oh, maybe.
I think that's the right way to go, honestly.
That's where he
it's
starts
just-
getting Malicky, though.
But if you don't like
that's-
that, you're not going to like the rest of it. And I think
yeah, that's
the
true. But
most
I'm trying to be like,
accessible version
I
of
want
this.
a
and
normie.
it
to
also
like
depends.
this
Are
movie.
you talking about a normal person or like a cinephile, a person who watches a lot of
right.
movies? Those are different questions. Because if I'm recommending one of these movies to my mom, for instance, it's not going to be The New World. It's
No.
probably,
I think The New World is actually pretty far down the list of
yeah. But if it's someone who, likes
It's song to song.
films, then it's, oh my God, can you imagine? Here's where you start. Like, what the
hell is this? It's to the wonder.
That might
Be
actually be
sad,
the best thing
you know?
to do is be like, oh, just give them one more try. And then they're like, well, this is like
way better than that.
The Lion King. This is a very normal film.
That's why you
Yes.
give him Pocahontas. That's why you give him the New World,
Yeah.
man. Oh my God. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you guys want to mention about
Great
the
film.
film? Talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, as I said at the beginning, like this is a masterpiece. To me, it is his best movie, and he has a lot of great movies. There's a lot of acceptable answers to what's the best Malick movie. But I think I lean on this one now because of my emotional reaction to it. And I think if you have the patience for a 3 hour long movie about doing the right thing, making the right choice, then I honestly cannot think of a better movie than this. Like, this is perfection on film. And it kills me that I was not able to see this on a big screen. Like, I would love to see this on the biggest screen possible, the best sound possible, because it demands it. It is that kind of movie. It is not a movie you should watch distracted. It is
No,
not a movie
you
you
need to
should
be held
watch like,
hostage
well,
by this movie.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and it really demands all of that attention and rewards it. I really think it does. And I think you could also watch this movie and be upset with the decisions he's making. That's a valid
Mhm.
reading of this movie, that like I could never do that. My family matters too much. Even if I end up having to do the wrong thing,
Yes.
the years that I would trade are not worth it. So I would need to not be myself for 5 seconds and make that personal sacrifice so I can be with my family. But then you can look at it from the other side, like we talked about. Am I the person who could be a member of that family and live with myself if
Mhm.
I made that decision? And I think it's a really interesting discussion. There's a lot of ways you can go with it. And the best art of any type, whether you're talking about film or physical art or music or whatever, it's not the things that are simple. It's the things that are complicated and don't have easy answers. This movie does not give you easy answers. His answer may be easy,
No.
but yours isn't. And I think that is just a phenomenal way to spend 3 hours. And if you haven't
That's
seen this
Malick.
movie, I don't know why you would listen to a whole
That'd
Malick
be weird to
podcast if
listen
you
to this
haven't.
episode.
But if you haven't, like, I don't think this is a movie that can be ruined. I don't think it's a movie that can be spoiled.
No,
Like, it's a
agreed.
part of history and worth seeing, worth watching. And even if you don't enjoy it, I think it's worth combating with in your mind.
Hmm. I
Great
agree.
movie.
And it really goes even beyond just living with yourself. It's about making that decision and then understanding that that philosophy is to what extent or another going to be passed down to your children, and then because of
Right.
that, generation by generation. I mean, it's in the mind of Franz, it's a choice that goes far beyond, the implications go far beyond himself and his soul and his spirit. So it's super important. I don't know. We talked about it a
Yeah.
lot. I'm
I
good.
mean,
I'm
I
set.
mean, just that first line,
I like how
that
Jay's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm good.
I mean, just that first line of that quote from George Eliot: "For the growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts." That
Yes.
is just a beautiful phrase. That's this entire movie, right? Like, it ends up being history, right? We know about it kind of now, but the reasons for doing it cannot be selfish. And if you want the world to be better, you have to do the right thing, even if no one cares and no one remembers. It's still important to do your part.
There are
It is,
ripples.
yeah, exactly. There is a ripple effect throughout history of people doing good. And this is the perfect example of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I agree. I think it's, yeah, man, watching it again, it
I don't think
was,
it got its due in its
I don't think it did.
your
I don't really think it did. It was really just like watching it. I was like, damn, I did not see this for what it was, which is a masterpiece. And, I think we've had a lot of movies about people. I mean, shit, we're coming off of a year last year where the best picture winner is about a man who makes the atomic bomb and has moral scruples the entire third act.
Mhm.
So, we're living in that world, but it is fascinating to take it from being it's so Malick in this, in that it is a giant event that plagues so many families, but we are specifically looking at this one human and this
Mhm.
one family, and how does the ripple effect of that, like a stream of water, how does that connect to the entire river that is this country, this backbone, this history?
Mhm.
And it's fascinating because I think he's making an argument here that it's different than maybe a little bit of his past films. So I think he's like, no, I think a value like this does have more of an effect.
Mhm.
And he's because he's stripped it back even for a 3-hour movie, stripped it back. And he's not talking about the universe. He's not talking about creationism. He's not talking about anything. He's just talking specifically about.
Let's be clear, not creationism, creation.
Yeah, same thing.
Let's delineate.
He's not talking about, the stars and the planets and everything. He's talking
if this movie had dinosaurs, 5.5 stars.
Could you imagine how much stuff they would get done in the field if they had a dinosaur out there? Just like ripping that stuff out?
It's actually, I've been, my son discovered the film The Good Dinosaur.
Oh,
and that movie is about plowing fields.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, it's very similar to this.
That's not a bad movie. I'm just going to put that out there. I know a lot of people.
I will say this.
Just another cartoon.
I'm like,
not interested.
This isn't terrible. They're actually trying something interesting here.
Wow, really?
It's better than
really
Inside Out
clearing
2.
that
I'll say
high
that.
bar.
I
Really
gotta tell you this.
bar.
I always said it about that year is that there were 2 Pixar movies, Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur, and I like The Good Dinosaur more than Inside Out.
Wow.
And
I'm an Inside Out hater. I've gotten all the way there.
Those movies just completely fall apart once you start having logic.
Any scrutiny whatsoever.
I'm down for you guys hating on cartoons. This is like
Jay,
bring it. Yes. Just
Jay. That's Dave's big thing. He doesn't think animation is cinema. He's big. He's Del Toro and him would not get along.
It's sad. It's the worst part. Yeah.
It's the worst part about that genius is that you would probably just sit there and be like, "You're a cartoon movie, go right to hell." You know what I mean?
I would never say anything bad to GDT. I just want a hug. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's the best.
Yeah. How can you not?
How can you not? Jay?
Yeah.
You want to do some rankings before we get out of here?
Well, do we need to do the Oscars first?
Do you want to do the Oscars first before rankings?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do rankings last.
All right, Jay. Well, if that's the case, since he's just jonesing to talk about the Oscars, before we get out of here, we're going to test your award season knowledge based on the film we just reviewed, which was A Hidden Life. In a segment we like to call It's an Honor to Get Nominated. Now, Jay, you've been tricked up here before during old Terrence Malick.
This one's hard because I should know these.
You should know them. It's
I knew the thing about the score.
What?
I knew that thing about how the score didn't qualify.
Yeah, you did know the thing about the score. That is correct. Good for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I made that sound even meaner than it should have. I wasn't trying to. I'm sorry, buddy.
Trust me, you being mean about my Oscar knowledge does not hurt my feelings.
Well, that's fair. Okay. So what do you got?
Okay. Oh God. I mean, it's a period piece, which means it should be kind of a shoe-in for certain awards, but
Dave, if you know, please don't help him.
I'm gonna guess Stooms.
That's costumes, right?
Yeah.
Costume design.
What is he talking about? Is that like the name of someone involved in this?
I'm going Stooms.
Stooms. That's incorrect.
Good Lord.
No Stooms.
Editing?
No editing, no Stooms.
But I got something, right?
Are you sure?
No.
Well then.
I just feel like a period piece from Terrence Malick that was kind of his comeback, I feel like should have gotten something.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have gotten production design because it was all locations.
Yeah. He didn't get that. He never gets that.
No.
And was it Fisk on this too? No?
I didn't see any quotes from him, but I'm not positive.
I'll look that up.
All right. I'm going to say nothing then. I don't think he got anything.
You're correct.
Okay.
They got absolutely
That was my
nothing.
gut instinct. I should have gone with it.
You should always go with that.
Man.
As your good instinct.
Just nominated for Independent Spirit Awards. That's no.
You didn't even get any AARPs?
No. What would you call those, Jay? The ARPs?
The ARPs.
No. Fisk did not do the.
No Fisk.
No Fisk this time.
No Fisk, no Lubeski.
Davis corrected was nominated for one Independent Spirit Award, and that was Best Feature.
That's why I got the screener, because it was.
That's how Dave got to see it.
That's the only reason I got to see it.
It was up against The Farewell, Clemency, Uncut Gems,
Clemency,
Marriage
Yeah.
Story, and A Hidden Life. Yeah, and
Fun fact: the first review I ever did for InSession Film, Clemency.
Clemency, really?
Yeah,
The movie's okay.
correct. It's a good movie.
The Farewell won Best
It's a
Feature.
good movie.
It's a good movie. Those are good
Not as good
movies
as
in
this
that
movie.
one. There's 4 good movies in that lineup, and Marriage Story.
Marriage Story.
Well, there's one great movie in that lineup, and we just talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I think Uncut Gems is pretty great.
I do like. Yeah, I do like Uncut Gems.
I'm on the other side of that. That one's not for me.
I like Clemency. I don't love it.
Yeah, that's
Not-
fine. It's
I'm not gone-
It's a
not gone
great
back and
lead
revisited it.
performance.
That's how I feel about
It's-
Clemency too.
It's a great lead performance. The movie around it
Agreed.
could use some work.
I do love The Farewell, though. I think that was very good.
Good movie.
Beautiful movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, not many awards for old Terry Malick on this go round.
In general.
Criminal.
Well, yeah, in general, yes, for sure. Especially, he's had a dry spell since Tree of Life.
TOL.
Yeah, TOL.
Can't believe To the Wonder didn't get a best pick.
Stunning. Yes.
No, the people did storm the gates for that
such
one.
an
You know what I mean?
accessible film.
Yeah. This was the year, Jay, as you know, this was the year that Parasite won Best Picture.
Yep.
Ford v Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story 1917, and the real Best Picture of 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm.
Sorry. Don't know.
I
what
think
to-
this is better than all of those movies.
I think you're fucking wrong.
that's fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
I think this movie is better than all of those movies. I would put Portrait of
You-
a Lady on Fire over this movie.
Same.
But I
Same.
think that's
Yes.
all I would put over.
You think this movie is better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I do.
Not by a lot.
You got
But I
it
do.
wrong.
Agreed.
Also, a very good movie.
You're going to watch
Excellent.
this one?
Great.
No.
It's a great movie.
And wait for you guys to rewatch this one more than Once Upon a
I
Time in
will.
Hollywood.
I know
Now-
that doesn't mean it's a better
helps.
movie if I rewatch it more.
I mean, it kind of does.
Yes, I will watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood more than A Hidden Life. I don't
Means that-
disagree with you on that.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
is partly because I'm married.
Well,
Yeah, fair.
it's also because you keep going back to the best movie.
No, it's a great movie. Tomorrow I might have a different opinion.
I mean,
Today we're talking about A Hidden Life.
I've probably watched Big Fish more than any other movie ever, but I don't think it's the best movie ever made.
It's a really good movie, though.
It is really good, but rewatching
doesn't like a big
doesn't
fish?
mean
like a
rewatching
big
doesn't
fish?
mean it's better. It just means
Jay,
it's
do
easier
you like
to access.
Big Fish?
More like a midfish.
Oh,
Breaking my heart.
yeah,
breaking my heart.
Oh, that's rough. It's not.
I think it's probably top 3 Burton, if not top 1.
Well, I mean, if it's your,
It's definitely outsed of my top 5.
Probably to be
to
my top
7
5.
Burtons.
my top 5.
I mean,
It's not my-
Ed Wood's in there.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood is
there's
one.
Yeah, Ed Wood's one. Probably like
Hard to watch now, though.
what Ed Wood?
Yeah, that's the Johnny Depp of it all. I just don't
Oh,
like
we
his face anymore.
we love him on this podcast.
Jesus Christ. But like I mean, Burton's getting a little bit of a rewatch because
Yeah.
of the whole Beetlejuice thing.
Beetlejuice. Still haven't seen it.
So I haven't seen it, really?
Mm-mm. I haven't been at the theater in a hot minute.
Well,
It is definitely fine. Enjoy that.
it's a good fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly
It's-
what it should be.
It's what it is, and I don't think it overstays its welcome. Like,
Yeah, it never desires to be
it
anything
could have been
more
a
than
far worse experience.
It's
That's for
probably
there-
Tim Burton's best movie since Big Fish.
that. Could be.
Can I tell you a little bit of a
That's
controversial
so-
opinion?
That you like
awful.
Dumbo? Is it that you like Dumbo?
Oh, I'm kind of low key defender of Dumbo.
I'm going back to the Oscar stuff here.
Okay.
And
This is Awards Watch. I mean,
Yeah.
get
So-
it together.
But yeah, learn your place. You know, he did want to go into this first. I was going to do the rankings.
He did.
He did.
No, I'm
ask
excited
us.
for the rankings. I got to find the
Um,
rankings first.
I like Parasite a lot,
It's a good movie.
There's a big old butt coming.
but I think people got to cool it with the whole like this is the greatest movie of the like the way people are like this is the
Oh,
greatest
no.
movie of all
No
time
kidding.
of like
It is
yeah,
a
it's-
very good movie.
yeah it's like it's
It's like
not his best.
fringe top 10 for me that year.
Yeah, it's a top 10 movie that year.
That was a good
But
year.
like-
About right?
I mean, it's a great year. Don't get me wrong. It's a wonderful year. But like, yeah, because I think people like this is like the everything everywhere all at once argument that I've made, which is like, I think for a lot of people, this is like their a new generation's like door open to international cinema, and they think that this is the
Agreed.
greatest international, movie ever in the history.
And
of
we
whatever.
are in the 5% oldest people on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
But I'm glad that door got opened. I mean, I think
agreed.
that's a good
That's
thing.
how I feel about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm glad people are going to go check out Wachowski movies.
Yeah, so they can see good ones. You know what I mean?
Everything Everywhere All at Once is fine.
I mean, yeah, but I'll take literally the entire filmography of the Wachowskis over it. Even
that's a month you want to invite me on for.
I disagree with that, but
I'll take them all. Give me those real swings.
They take swings. That is true.
They take swings.
They do.
Sentimentality on that shoulder, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell me when the Daniels make Speed Racer.
Yeah, I like Speed Racer more than
picture. What a picture.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Obviously. I'm a human
don't
being
Dave.
with a brain.
Don't do it. But no, I mean, like, I would put Malick definitely in this director line. I'd get rid of Todd Phillips. Get him out of there.
Please.
What do you mean? You're saving him for Folie à Deux.
I get him out. I'd also take out Sam Mendes too.
Well, no one is surprised who's ever listened to you on a podcast.
I'm not a 1917 guy.
It's a goddamn video game, and I like playing video games, not watching them. It felt like the experience. I'm telling you, when I watched 1917, it felt like when I was back in college again, watching my friends play like war games on the console, and I was just like, I can't. This is no. Come on, what are we doing?
It is impressive in some ways and obnoxious in others.
Very much so. Very much so. And then yeah, I mean, like Bong, I totally keep him in, and then Tarantino, I totally keep him in, and Scorsese, I totally would keep him in. That's a movie I think, again, The Irishman, damn good movie too.
Irishman rules.
I mean, like, I think I've rewatched that like twice in the last 2 years, because it's still playing, but it rules. And I would throw and yeah, like Malick would be in here.
That was back when I was in California, so I got to see that in the theater, which was a wonderful experience.
I remember
this was a good year.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember getting out of the theater, like getting out of work early and being able to see it, and I was just like, man. And then I told my wife, I'm like, it's 3.5 hours. I'll see you later tonight. It was like a 4:30 screen. I'm like, I'll see you later.
There was a really good Christian Petzold movie this year, a really good Almodovar movie this year.
Was that Transit?
Mm-hmm.
And then that was Pain and Glory?
Mm-hmm.
God, and then
really good Todd Haynes movie. You know,
Dark
Waters.
Dark Waters is really good.
Mm-hmm.
You what was it? You mentioned Portrait of a Lady on Fire was this year.
Oh,
my beloved Under the Silver Lake.
Under the Silver Lake.
That's a movie I need to give another chance to.
Knives Out was this year.
Like it, but
Ad Astra I thought was really good.
Little Women, which is incredible. It's Greta Gerwig's best movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Us.
Ryan's favorite actor, Shia LaBeouf, had a big year.
Us, Peanut Butter Falcon, and
Honey Boy.
And Honey Boy.
Peanut Butter Falcon.
I loved both of those movies.
Yeah,
I did such a shame that he is a monster. Like, dang it.
And Jay, how dare you?
Richard Jewell.
Yeah, Rocket Man.
Good Clint. Crawl. Hello.
Crawl.
Good movie.
Crawl rocks. Crawl 2 coming soon.
Crawl 2. Yeah. I forgot to ask you about Crawl 2, what you think about that.
Most anticipated movie of all time.
Jay's favorite.
All time.
All time.
Not the year, all time.
Jay's this is when the Marvel Cinematic Universe should have ended. This was Endgame. Was this year. Jay's favorite.
Let's just keep naming movies.
Jay's favorite.
Just end it before it started. That would be much better for me.
That's fair. Jay's favorite live action Disney movie, The Lion King.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
The Dirt. Remember The Dirt?
Remember The Dirt?
That's what the whole movie looked like. Yeah, I do remember that.
I will say 4v Ferrari, absolute great dad movie.
Perfect dad movie. That's a TNT movie.
I really like that movie. Do you remember The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot?
Is that the one with Sam Elliott?
Yeah.
It is.
Where it's not as crazy as you think it's going to be, even based off that
real
title.
Bad.
It's real misleading title. Yes.
Very misleading title. This is Rise of Skywalker.
All right, that's enough. Let's get on with it.
Oh, this is The Lighthouse?
This is bad. This is bad.
Lighthouse?
It's bad content.
Okay,
I said
better.
Lighthouse. Lighthouse is
Did
good.
you say The Lighthouse? Okay.
I did.
And you said Ad Astra, which is, I mean,
I did.
criminally just one of the great
Yeah,
movies.
I saw that movie.
I'll throw out a low key one that people might not know about. Ash's Purest White. That movie.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
what
Yeah.
a beautiful movie.
I saw Ad Astra like the week after my dad died. I would not recommend that experience. It is rough, but a great
That's
movie.
a tough one.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
good
movie.
one. Yeah.
There's a lot of great movies. I'm trying to pull
Brad
up
Pitt, pretty good actor. It's my hot take. It's pretty good.
Dave thinks he's a great human being too.
That's not what I said.
That's
James Gray, good director.
Yes.
I didn't like his last film.
Armageddon Time.
Yeah, I was kind of
Lesser Gray for me. I agree with you.
Hawkins go good in that movie though.
Lost City of Zed.
Oh,
Incredible.
all-timer.
That's my favorite.
All-timer movie.
All timer.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite Gray.
Really?
One of the
Mhm.
great films of the
Wow.
last decade.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. That's all you're going to give us, Dave?
Yep.
All right,
it's
should we
pretty
rank?
good.
Should we rank Malick movies? Good.
I think so. I think. Well, what you guys
He's-
wouldn't get?
He's
Would you guys not-
desperately trying to get us to that 3-hour mark.
Yeah,
That's-
he's definitely. I'm
what's-
trying to get us there. So you guys wouldn't give this any Oscars? Is that it?
No, I mean I would. I'd give it cinematography. Absolutely.
Okay.
I could give August Diehl a lead actor.
You would take
Mm.
one. You would take the cinematography away from Roger Deakins.
Yeah, sure. He's got enough nominations.
I mean,
Nominations.
he's only got 2 wins, which is
Who
this
else?
and Blade
Who
Runner.
else was nominated for actor that year?
Actor?
Yeah.
That's a great question. So Joaquin Phoenix for Joker
Get
was
him
your
out of
winner.
here. Get him out of
and
here. August
Antonio
Diehl.
Antonio Banderas for Pain
Oh,
and
that's
Glory.
a great nom. I was so glad he got nominated.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Great performance.
Great performance. Maybe Leo's best. One of his best.
I don't know. I
One
get
of
it.
his
You like
best.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. It's a damn what? It's a damn good movie. I'm just saying he works really goddamn good.
I know.
with
I
Tarantino.
love that movie.
Yeah,
His
he does.
scene in the trailer is hysterical.
impeccable.
Might
Yeah,
be the
it's
best
hysterical.
scene of that year. Like,
Yeah.
Really incredible. Who else?
Eight goddamn whiskey sours. Adam Driver for Marriage Story.
Boo. Bad movie.
I don't like the movie, but I
Solid
like,
performance.
I
He's
like
good
him
in
in
it.
the movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Not best actor though.
Oh,
But he's
High
good
Life
in
was this year, Jay.
It was.
Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Jonathan Pryce for Jay's favorite movie.
Oh, how many popes are there?
There's 2 popes, baby.
I think this performance is better than all of those.
Oh,
I
and
would-
Dolomite was this year too.
Hmm.
Eddie Murphy's great in Dolomite is my name.
Yes.
Yeah, I would put him in Best Actor.
I'd put him in
easily.
here. I'd go director.
God, he's so good.
I go director, actor, cinematography, picture.
Editing.
Yeah. Figure out
If you like a Terrence Malick movie, you have
You
to
got
give
to
it
like
editing.
editing.
That's the rule.
Every Malick movie should get nominated for
honestly,
best editing.
honestly,
just the sheer amount of
You
work.
can give it Stooms.
I was gonna say you got to give it Stooms.
You got to give it Stooms.
Yeah, Stooms is really.
I hate that. I just want to say, I have a visceral negative reaction to the term "stooms."
Wait, what are you talking
It
about?
doesn't even shorten the word that much. Like it's just
Stooms.
makes everything worse.
You can go Stooms. You can go.
You can go Stooms. You could
You can
go.
go screenplay. Why not? Did Joker
Yeah.
get screenplay?
Yeah, Joker did get adapted.
Yeah, then get out of
screenplay.
here. Bye, Joker.
You know
And
what?
score,
You know what?
obviously should have
you know-
won score.
Yeah, she won score. Do you, Jay? You know what won adapted screenplay that year?
Oh,
favorite-
was this JoJo?
This is Jojo Rabbit. Your
Um,
favorite movie that year?
Boy, that's a movie that gets worse the more I think about it.
absolutely hate
Like, I didn't-
that
I
movie.
didn't-
And I was Ryan.
Like,
give me
I
give me
liked
credit for
it.
this. I was an OG.
He was an
JoJo.
OG.
I
I
believe it.
remember that. I remember seeing that, and I'm like, wow, you really hate this guy. And then like over time, Jay's stock has gone up like
Yeah,
like
he's right.
like
He's
like
right on
he
that
had
one.
the original Apple stock.
bought in
You know what I mean?
early.
Yeah.
And
I liked it, and then I like within the last year showed it to my wife, and halfway through I was like, I'm sorry. This is my bad. This is not good. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
just
should
like,
be-
no, it's really not.
That's
I
where
think that
gr-
movie is like nefarious. Like I hate that movie.
Jesus.
I still think
Settle
that's where
down.
that's the one that of all the nominations that she's had over the last 3 films, that's the one where Greta Gerwig was snubbed the most. Because not only did she lose for that impeccable adaptation of that novel,
incredible adaptation,
but then it was a Adam McQuade 2.0 of level of just going straight to his head with that Oscar win and his persona and being in too many things over the last 5 years.
So I have a question for Jay. What's worse, Jojo Rabbit or Life is Beautiful?
Ooh.
I've never seen Life is Beautiful.
Oh, interesting.
I would say Life. I can answer that, Dave.
Before I get to that,
I would say,
but I know that the reputation of that film is similar to how I feel about JoJo.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Ryan, what do you think?
Just like kind of an evil entity, and I'll give it to its credit, an accidentally evil entity.
Yes,
but an evil entity nonetheless.
It's not malicious,
right?
I would say Life is Beautiful. I find that movie deplorable. I despise that movie.
Principessa, come on.
I just every time I think about that, you know what? When I think about that movie,
the Academy acceptance made it worse, didn't it?
It's like him climbing on the seats and everything make it worse. Like the fact that like JoJo just won this, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a terrible win.
Whatever.
Like they fucking loved Life is Beautiful. And it's like one of those where like, you guys, if I was around during that time, I'd burn the building. Like I'm telling you. Like, what are we doing here? I
will say in JoJo, ScarJo innocent.
She's very good. She's the best thing in that movie. It's weird.
Yeah. Why are we talking about Jojo Rabbit?
It's weird the relationship that Sam Rockwell has.
What a podcast we've put together.
Okay. Malick ranking. Dave, do you have a Malick ranking? Did you put one together?
I can put one together. Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Well,
go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
If you have it ready. If you don't,
if you don't, we can go.
So it's A Hidden Life.
And this is top to bottom. You're going top to bottom?
Yeah, top to bottom. Yeah. A Hidden Life. The New World. Days of Heaven. Tree of Life. Badlands. Thin Red Line. I did not see To the Wonder. And then Knight of Cups, Song to Song.
And you abstained to the Wonder.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it, so I can't put that anywhere.
Okay.
All right.
You're wrong.
Sorry. I apologize, Jay. I know that was hurtful to hear.
I'll get it. I'll go ahead. I'll go. I'm gonna go bottom to top because I like the drama.
Everybody
Wait,
knows.
You like the drama? No.
So here we go. So we're starting at number 9. These are mere 4.5 stars for me. So
number 9.
Song to Song I have at number 9. To the Wonder I have at number 8. Then we take a huge jump to 5 stars. And the rest of these movies, in my opinion, are 5-star films. A Hidden Life I have at 7, which again I just like
still 5 stars.
Like just be praised for 2 hours straight. Then Badlands at 6, Knight of Cups at 5. I think that movie's remarkable. The New World at 4, Days of Heaven 3, Thin Red Line, and The Tree of Life. Those last 2 films are in my top 10 films of all time. So that's my ranking.
I was moving things around at the last second here.
Okay. I feel like ours will be mildly different.
They're going to be mildly different. So no Terrence Malick movie has lower than a 4-star rating for me. And that
that's coward behavior.
Just hey, listen, Mr. 5 stars, calm down. So my number 9 is To the Wonder.
I feel like that's the common
one,
ranking.
But I respect the freaking hell out of it.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful conversation during that movie. My number 8 is Badlands.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where it's 4.5. So 4.5 out of 5.
That's crazy to have Badlands for somebody who's not like all about floaty Malick to have Badlands behind him. That's interesting. Song
to Song is at 7.
Okay.
I love that movie, and obviously being someone in the South Texas area, that movie has I think some things that are speaking to me and what Malick is trying to talk about. currently still that is plagued in and around my area. Number 6 is A Hidden Life.
Mhm.
For all the reasons we said here. So I lied earlier in saying that it's like bottom Malick because it's like kind of in the middle now. That's what happens when you have a conversation about these movies. Number 5, Knight of Cups. Love that movie.
I'm surprised it's that high. Okay, cool.
That's my those are my 4.5s. So those
Mhm.
last 4 films were 4.5s. These are my 5 stars. Number 4 is Days of Heaven.
Mhm.
My number 3 is The Thin Red Line. My number 2 is The New World. My
Yeah, we
number
got
1.
the same number 1.
And the number 1, there is no, I mean, I Love You, Dave. And it was your number 2.
Yeah.
Or no, it was your number 4. I'm sorry.
No, it was
the Tree of
further
Life.
down for him. It's 4, 5, yeah.
Yeah, like Tree of Life is like a life. Like
Le
changing.
Tree of
Yeah.
Life.
Like when you watch that, like Dave, I don't know when the last time you watched Tree of Life was.
About 2 months ago.
Okay.
Watched
Well, when
it
you watch it
recently.
again, you'll
I
change
watched it
again.
like 4 times this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the
he's-
thing. Like when you have a director this great, like you ask, of course, I just did it right now, but if you ask
you're gonna
me
change in
3
about-
days from now,
it's going to change.
Because there's
No.
like, to me, there's at least 5 5-star movies on there, and at least 4 of those could be number 1 at any point in time.
I'm gonna just tell you all
totally
this.
fine.
Like Jay, you have 5 5-star movies, right?
No.
No, you have 6. 6?
No.
So- 7, 8? Is it
7.
8? 7? Okay. I could easily see 2 or 3 of these making it into 5 stars over the years. And
The 5-star Hall of Fame.
yeah, I mean it's an insane.
He's my favorite director. I mean, he
Yeah.
just
Is
flat
it
out-
like it's like up there when we in our past
this has been a joy.
iteration of the show we did Lynch and we did Fincher and we were just knocking out like 4.5 5-star movies almost every week. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was
And the
like-
difference between them is razor thin. Like,
Yeah.
That's how it was with PTA. Except the difference is everybody likes every PTA movie. Not everybody likes every Malick movie.
Well,
And
there are some people
like
that
Inherent Vice or
let's
whatever.
not get
but-
into that.
well, there are some people that don't like every PTA movie, but those people are called morons. So it's like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And they're
No,
also,
but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
He's way more.
these are
accessible.
challenging.
The
Yeah.
three, yes, you recommend a Malick movie on movie night, and you might lose privileges for ever picking the movie, on
Or
movie
your
night
friends and
again.
family. They might not ever speak to
Yeah,
you again.
they
Like,
might reject you. Yeah, you might be disowned.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he's my guy. He's my number 1 handsome boy.
Jay, any last thing before we start doing outros you just want to say real quick about the series, kind of wrap it up?
No, I mean it was again. I'm so sad to not talk about Terrence Malick all the time now, but I'm also happy to throw a few books in storage. It was so fun. It's because not only was it so exciting to talk about his movies, but the research I did and everything like that was so educational and made me appreciate his stuff, which I already loved even more. And honestly, made me a smarter guy. I went from like a 3 to a 4 on the smartness scale. So
Is that like out of 10 or like?
Yeah,
where's
that's out
the-
of 10.
Okay.
So it's nice to be a 4. And it's just he's the best. He makes me feel in ways that nobody else's movies make me feel. I like the way that his movies look more than I like the way that anybody else's movies look. He is my favorite person.
Your favorite person?
Number 1 on the list.
So your wife,
Writing him in for Prez.
your child,
Right, 3rd favorite person. Fine.
me.
3rd favorite person.
Son of a bitch. All right. Dick. All right. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. Dave, thank you for putting up with us again on a very long episode.
Well, no, this
of the
was super
show.
fun. I'm so grateful to have been here. Specifically, like this was, I mean, I don't want to get too into this, but like this was a life-changing watch. And I wouldn't have watched it again if I hadn't been a guest on.
man.
That's
I
Malick,
hadn't-
baby. We
if
did
I
it.
hadn't, And if you hadn't invited me, I might have never watched this movie again because I wasn't like, I liked it, but I wasn't like, oh my God, this is incredible. And I am grateful to both of you that I got to have this experience. So thank you.
Hell yeah,
Wow.
brother. Yeah, all right.
Bringing you back from Michael Bay. It's going to have a similar experience.
Which one do you think? Which one do you think you should do?
Dark of the Moon.
There you go. There
Pain and Gain. Come on, his 5-star movie.
No,
You're coming on for Dark of the Moon.
Coming
the
on for
worst.
Bad Boys
I maintain
2.
the
Bad
worst
Boys 2.
movie I ever saw in a movie theater.
Oh, not Bad Boys 2. I'm out.
No,
I can't do it. No, I despise that movie. No.
Jay, have you ever seen Bad Boys 2?
No, I've only seen the first one.
God, first one's good.
Bad Boys
I need
2
to
rules.
get in on it.
Hate
I
it.
don't like number one. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
No, number 1, not very good. 2, rules. It's the
I
best.
don't know why you
series.
hate Taya Leone so much. I don't know where this comes from.
I've heard number 2.
I'm not
is
the
an
only one that hates
absolutely-
Taya Leone. Let's be real. Like
I've heard number 2 is an
Wow.
absolutely despicable work, and that makes me very interested.
I would say like think of like the filmmaking styles almost like to a tendency of your Crank movies.
Yeah, that's
now we're
accurate.
talking.
Yeah, he loves those movies, so I
But
think Jay's gonna love it.
Let's get
both
out of here. I
Crank
gotta go
movies
watch
are
Crank.
better than Bad Boys 2.
Wow.
I would agree, but I think it's in that adjacent style.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid.
Dave, can you
Yes.
tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet, as well as also can you give our listeners a recommendation of the week, something that is new or old that you have seen recently that you want to recommend that everybody check out?
Sure. You can find me, of course, on Twitter at Darn That Dave, the podcast at Pop Case Study, and lots of my writing at InSession Film. And also I edit everything over there. So you can find lots of my work there. In terms of movies that I've watched recently, I kind of want to keep it thematic. As this movie was a lot about doing the right thing, whether anyone notices or not. I just recently watched for the first time a movie from 1982, The Year of Living Dangerously, which is a Mel Gibson movie that was nominated for
We got to bring up Mel.
Best Supporting Actress, I think, or Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress, but it
The
was
way
a
that
woman.
which I have to
right
I have to pause. I have to pause you, Dave, because Jay went off for a second to just grab something off camera. And the minute you mentioned this, he grabbed his Crank 2 high voltage Blu-ray.
Amazing.
Which is the reason why he is who he is, folks.
Yes.
He literally just jumped back in and said, "We got to talk about Mel." So it was like literally a Keaton.
Mel Gibson has come up on like every episode of our Malick series. It's crazy.
I think that series is happening. Anyway,
And now it's time to announce. He's our
no.
next
Damn it.
So there's a performance in that was nominated for an Oscar by Linda Hunt, but Linda Hunt is a white woman playing a half Asian man in that movie. Probably a role that would not have been given to Linda Hunt now, but it is tremendous.
I don't know about that.
It's a tremendous performance. The movie itself is uneven.
Why don't you tell that to Emma Stone?
Look, we're not talking about Aloha. We're not getting into that.
God damn it, Jay. He's coming back in and off screen to do this thing too.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. But it's an uneven movie. It's directed by Peter Weir, but the highs of that movie are so great that is definitely worth watching. And there's a discussion about like, should I help the poor if it won't make any difference? There will always be poor. And it's the discussion about like empathy matters even if it doesn't make a difference. Yeah. And that's, a similar process that we've got in the movie that we talked about today. So highly recommend.
Love that. I think Weir is destined, as Jay and I have discussed multiple times, Weir is someone that we will he found Crank as well too. Right, Jay? Like I think Weir is destined to be a movie series
really
down
fun.
the road.
I would love to do Peter Weir.
The variety and
oh my god,
get your
so
beloved Master and Commander.
Why aren't there 5 of those movies? I'm so mad. Every time I think about that, I get so angry because I'm one of the 9 people who saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Jay knows how much I love those ships. Those ships go boom.
Man of taste.
Those ships go boom. That is a 5-star.
You gotta scoop the brains out.
You gotta scoop the brains out. You
scoop the
gotta
brains out.
you gotta just let Paul Bettany go and look for
You gotta
wildlife.
spoon those brains.
You gotta play the violin.
Remember when Paul
just gotta
Bettany
do
was
it.
an actor? Remember when he was like an actor in things?
There's absolute snacktopus in that movie too. I'm not gonna say anything otherwise. Also, Crow. When Crow wanted to be an actor,
An absolute what?
he's a snacktopus. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a J term that you have appropriated.
Yeah, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah.
He's
You guys have spent too much time together. That is clear.
That's actually the motto of this show. We spend
What
way
an
too
ending
much
to our
time
Malick series.
what a
Do you think he's listening?
yes.
Think he's
'cause
following along?
I can't wait for his Jesus movie to have the word snacktopus in it. It's gonna be great.
Jesus Nectopus Christ. That's right.
Oh, that's what his middle name was. There you go.
The H is silent.
All right, Jay, can you tell everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet, and also give your recommendation of the week too, buddy? Good Lord.
Yeah, so I was Ryan. You always love these. I was with the in-laws this weekend. You always
Oh
like
my
to check
God.
in on what we watched with the in-laws.
Oh my God, please. Dave, you're in for a treat. If you think
boy.
that this show's already gone off the rails, you just wait until
No,
the
this one was
in-laws came
fun.
in. Okay, what'd you watch?
This one was not. Normally, we're watching like
You're watching the Rebel
latest
Moons.
Netflix
Yeah.
dreck that has been
Wait, did you
conjured
guys
up.
did
from
you guys
hell.
watch what I think you were going to watch?
Well, this is not a Netflix movie, so no.
Oh, okay, you didn't watch that. Okay.
I chose the movie. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it, and I just chose the flick, and I'd never seen it before. From Dusk Till Dawn, saw it for the first time.
Wow.
Fun flick,
Robert Rodriguez?
absolute trash.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez,
Wonderful trash.
which is probably why my
You're
father-in-law was like, "This
Hell
good,
yeah.
this good stuff."
Well, I would assume he was watching it for some other reasons in that movie too.
Well, let me tell you, there are plenty of
Selma
other reasons
Hayek?
to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. The way she holds the snake.
He's like, that's
into it.
This is way better than what's that Woody Harrelson, Kevin Hart movie, The Man from Canada or something, The Man from Toronto.
Yeah, the
whatever
man
that
from
is.
Toronto, the Toronto guy. Or
That's
whatever.
one of the worst
What a
movies I've ever
pull.
seen. I
What?
watched it with him.
No, but he's watched like all these bad movies.
This
Like
is what I watch when I'm with
this
my
is what he
father-in-law.
does.
It's like Rebel
Like,
Moon, Man
Not the
from
Aviator.
Toronto.
Just
Are you kidding me?
he's-
If I showed him Tree of Life, he'd make me divorce his daughter.
Yeah,
Like,
he'd be
it's-
like, my grandkids will never see you again. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's, but it's
Yeah.
always fascinating to see and he buys them at full price. The guy just buys, and
Unbelievable.
he's just, and I don't think they're rentals. They're just full buys.
No, he
So
just
he's-
buys them.
He's just gotten, yeah.
Ryan, by the way, since you brought up Netflix, Rebel Ridge also.
Hey,
Oh,
what are
yeah,
you
yeah,
stomping
Rebel
on
Ridge. Yeah, there you
on
go.
my pick? You just come in here. You think you know this podcast?
You
got a system
you
to
call
this.
me lady.
You call me lady.
I got him so mad the voice is cracking. I'm so proud right now.
I have sickness all around me. Jay, did you say where you could?
Oh yeah,
be found
whatever.
on the internet?
Letterbox J Ledbetter, Twitter at Mr. J Ledbetter. If you see me in the street, give me a holler. That's it.
For all you people in Atlanta, Georgia.
Sure.
Can you imagine?
I don't know. Maybe
Have
got
you
a
had
big
that
Atlanta
happen to you?
contingent.
What would you do if somebody just screamed, "Hey Jay"? You would run. You would straight up run, wouldn't you?
No, I'd be like, must listen to the Malick series.
You can find me on
Told him
Twitter.
to holler at you. So
You can, yeah. You're bringing it upon yourself on this unwarranted attention. Please do not holler at me on the street.
And shout out to Terry Malick. Thanks for listening.
Thanks Terry. We got those emails. He wouldn't. Use
I was
emails.
genuinely thinking the other day, I was like,
Would he listen?
do you think in my life I could figure out a way to get Terrence Malick to write me a letter back?
Yeah, I think so. If you like built something wooden and old,
just show up. It's
He'd
just
probably
if
be
you build
like,
it, they will come.
can I have it in
Just-
can I have it in my next movie or whatever? However he sounds.
Maybe
Like,
send it with a bottle of like river water.
I think so. But the water is not actually from a river, it's your tears, so something like that.
What's
Anyway,
the difference? What is a river but nature's tears?
exactly. There you go, buddy. All right. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, or I am McQuade77. You can find all my work at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, we do one every Monday and occasionally on Wednesdays during award season. And that's the award show, the Awards Watch main show. iTunes, Spotify, 5-star reviews. We greatly appreciate it. While you're over on the website, sign up for the newsletter. It's the best place to get all the news, reviews, interviews, these podcasts, and many other things all sent to you in one place. My recommendation of the week, since Dave likes to step on toes, is a Netflix movie, and it's Rebel Ridge.
Yeah, I watched that one with my father-in-law too. Actually, he did not like it.
Not enough people died, I assume.
That's exactly what the problem was.
Yeah,
but I honestly think like so Jeremy Saulnier is the director's name. Obviously, Blue Ruin, Hold the Dark, Green Room, great director. Didn't really like Hold the Dark that much, but I really like this.
Hold the Dark's the worst one, but
yeah, the Hold the Dark is definitely the worst one. This is like pretty great, and actually, in a lot of ways, I mean, obviously, it's speaking about police brutality, how we body cam searches, all this different.
What is it called? Asset
retention,
whatever it is.
It's a lot about that too, but also I find it to be a really fascinating examination of one's style within their career. Saulnier very much in his films has had a lot of violence, a lot of deaths, a lot of gruesome. I mean, he has literally one of the most gruesome moments I've seen in a movie in the last 15 years with the Green Room arm
He's all
scene.
about idiots killing each other.
Exactly.
And now he's got a super competent protagonist not killing people.
Yeah. And again, it was like another person that's just like, I'm going to refuse a conscientious objector almost at time. Yep. Yeah. Aaron Pierre, who's fantastic.
That dude's got the
he's
juice.
so good.
He's got the juice. I'm so glad
make that guy a movie star.
I'm so glad that I don't know what happened with John Boyega, but like I mean, obviously it could have been some really bad stuff. Don't know.
And an M. Night Discovery, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Pierre.
Well, he was also on Underground Railroad too, so he's worked with Barry Jenkins and M. Night Shyamalan, and now he's working in this movie. And I was like, can we green light like
anything
100 of these?
Let's get him in
movies?
Marvel. Get him in Marvel.
I don't know. They might need a Blade replacement in a couple of weeks. Who knows? That thing's never gonna happen. But no, I just thought what an effective, interesting thriller that I think picks apart literally at his own self and has the rules. Like he said in an interview, he wanted to make a movie where he didn't kill anyone, and I think that that's very reflective of like how do you then make a thriller or how do you make an action movie that's as interesting as the one it is. Also, think Don Johnson's really great in the movie too. Slowly having just like he's in his like era right now where he's just if he's in a movie he's going to give you 3 or 4 scenes and they're going to be the best goddamn.
He's such a great mediocre racist. Like he's just like that is like his sweet spot. He's fantastic.
But it's really really well done. I couldn't believe how much I was enjoying it. It maybe is about 20 minutes. It's probably about 20 minutes too long, but that's okay.
It sags a little in the middle.
Yeah, it like when it's
a procedural, it's not as good.
No, but when it's like when it's being when it's much more focused on him rather than like the other little characters.
When it's all about squeezing tension out.
Yeah, and it's trying not to be like an episode of Reacher. Then like then it's really goddamn good.
No, it's good when it's trying to be an episode of Reach. Are you kidding me?
No, but like I'm talking like the mundanity in like a procedural show like that, where you're like, I got to hang out with this small town prosecutor.
The stuff with the prosecutor. I'm like,
it's a little.
I mean, when they get wrapped up in the intricacies of the police stuff, it like kind of loses its momentum, but not enough for it to be bad. I mean, but still I'm like, really, I'm still really like, okay, movie. Cool. I'm buying into it. And
every time she comes up, I'm like, I thought you got pushed off the bridge to Terabithia.
Damn it.
God damn it. And you say I go off the rails at the end of these episodes. My God, what a reach.
Be fair, you both do. It's fine.
Shut up, Dave.
It's like your bit. This is what you do.
Yeah, this is what we do.
It's in the intro. Like,
yeah, that's true. That is true. People are like, if we're too, if we're,
Terry, I love that you set that up so no one can complain. You're just like,
go on a few unrelated tangents along the way.
It's in the DNA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then people know what they're getting themselves into literally
It's
90
fair.
seconds into the show.
Smart.
Both the audience and the guests that we've held hostage here for about 3 hours. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Oh, can't leave just yet.
Oh, we got a big announcement to
We
make.
got a big announcement. We got to announce the next series. We
Oh.
almost got out of here before announcing the next
Man.
series. This is how off the rails we've become. Jay, please do the honors in announcing who our next series is going to be.
It's not Mel Gibson. I made that funny joke earlier.
I mean, we
It's
did have
not Mel
did have a
Gibson.
ton of write-ins.
Funny
no, we
is
didn't.
debatable, but
Funny, yeah.
It was a hilarious moment in the history of the podcast. We're covering probably, I would say, an undercover director. I think we're going to talk about the films of Carl Franklin. It'll be a shorter series, but we're going to talk about how many of his movies, Ryan? 3?
We're doing a quick 3-episode series, but we will talk about pretty much everything in his filmography. And we're starting with
One Fall stuff. The Meryl Streep movie.
Yes, I
actually nobody has ever heard of.
I actually rented that, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try to do as many of the ones in between. It's a fascinating study, and I think that his career is very interesting. Obviously, we're going to do One False Move. That is the film that we'll do next week. We'll also do Devil in a Blue Dress, and then we're going to do Out of Time. So, if you liked our Tony Scott series, if you liked our Tony Scott series where we were talking about pretty much half of Denzel Washington's filmography, we're going to continue that. It's also been something that's been going on in this household where we're watching all the like movies in between all these movies for Denzel Washington. Just like every now and then I'll look at the wife and I'll be like, let's watch a mid-tier Denzel Washington movie. So we'll have a lot of, we'll watch
Ricochet rocks.
Ricochet is wild. Not Wild, The Siege. Don't do that one. Maybe watch The Bone Collector instead. Anyway, we're going to talk about all those, but yes, One False Move next week. It's in the Criterion Collection. I think it's on Criterion Channel, so you can watch it there. Go ahead and give it a watch, and we'll be back next week. And that series also, no guests, just me and Jay. So you got to have to put up with us and our usual shenanigans. So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you all next time.